listening to M.T.V.B. Podcast. Movies, TV, video and board games. This show may contain swearing.
Welcome to a brand new episode of the M.T.V.B. podcast, the podcast that talks about my four favourite subjects. That's movies,
TV shows,
video games, and board games.
I'm your host, Anthony, as well as most people know me as the Ant-Man, and welcome. This week's episode is a film episode. We're going to be talking about those guilty pleasures of ours, our top 5 guilty pleasures of all times. I'm joined around the table by the guys that love to talk about guilty pleasure movies. Introduce yourselves around the table, please.
Hi guys, it's John Whiff, aka JK47.
Hey guys, it's Gal, aka Grey Fox.
And Dave, a.k.a. Boast from the Coast.
Ooh, nice. Guys, we made it to the end of Season 6.
Nice.
Woo woo.
We made it.
We made it there.
We are here.
We started from the bottom and we're still here.
We're still here. So this will be our 80th episode and counting so far.
Good.
But before we start the topic tonight, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that was included in Season 6 of this series. I'm just going to go through a few lists quickly because there was a lot of people that got involved in this series, apart from the people around the table with me now. I want to say a big thank you to Wayne and Simon from Board Stupid, Phil and Scott from the Xenomania podcast, Jason from Meeple Minded, as well as Bandicoot Burn, a.k.a. Chris from, and now he's part of the M.T.V.B. podcast now.
Yes. No way.
Guys, thank you so much for helping out. Season 6 would not be possible without yourselves, as well as the people around me at the table now. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for taking the time to do that. And, hopefully we'll get you back for Season 7. We had a big hit this season with the top 5 video games from specific consoles. Was really big this season. We'll continue that next season with, obviously, other consoles that we didn't mention for Season 6. Yeah, so that's another thing to look forward to in Season 7.
Thank you for having us on your shows. Yes. That's all we can say.
No, thank you for fucking showing up.
Thank you for creating it on all.
He doesn't. Do you notice he didn't thank Gokul?
I want Gokul and Chumps as well. He's only been on 2 episodes this season.
You're going to make Gokul's fan very angry.
Nah, he's in love at the moment, so it's going to be...
Yeah, he's all love.
No, but you'll make Gokul's fan very
I know,
angry.
Stuart, if you're listening, yeah, you have to have words with the Charm Assist. We'll try and get him more on Season 7 for you next time. Yes. So... Guilty pleasures, guys. How was your lists for the top 5 guilty pleasures?
Terrible.
In other words, John did it in 5 minutes or less again.
No, hard.
I just
hard, yeah.
Yeah, this was hard.
I found it quite easy personally, but
I just had to refresh on what films that I watched, and then it kind of just hit me. I was like, yeah, these are the ones that I watched, and I enjoy it.
It was difficult for me to think of films that I enjoyed but didn't do very well, if you know what I mean, because no one else sort of enjoyed them. Most of nearly all the films I've seen, other people have sort of liked them or really liked them anyway.
Sure.
So it was very difficult for me to try and come up with some films that didn't do kind of very well.
Are you in the same boat with that as well, Dave? Is that why you find it difficult?
I don't tend to watch crappy
shitty
movies.
films.
No, exactly.
If I know they're crappy, then I don't.
Yeah.
Even if people are like, it's so bad, you should watch it. I don't often tend to watch them. That
feels
like a bit of a waste of time. But I've done me, so I've done my own thing.
Exactly.
And I will justify why they're guilty pleasures to me in my own head.
That's the situation I had with newer films, because like last 10 years I've been really picky of, like I say for 10 years, maybe 5, but picky on what I watch, because I don't want to watch something and it's just like, oh, this is rubbish. So I'll do like a bit of research before I know if I'm going to like it or not.
Also, movies are getting longer as well, so that's more time to waste, isn't it?
Yes.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't got no time.
So for those people that don't understand the movie lingo of a guilty pleasure, can anyone explain what it is?
Well, I think you could have multiple definitions of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go for them.
So, like, you've got the guilty pleasure, i.e. a movie that's definably bad
Yeah.
that you like, so didn't perform well, like John mentioned over there.
Yeah.
But I would say also, what about guilty pleasures that like are from a genre that you like shouldn't really like? That counts as guilty pleasure, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like if
True.
I said to you I loved like a chick flick,
Yep.
Yeah.
you'd be like, "Oh, why'd you like that? You're supposed to like sci-fi and like fantasy and stuff. Look at you."
Gay.
So yeah, might do some of that.
Yeah, okay.
I would define that as a guilty pleasure because I can't tell you about it and be like, "Oh, go watch it. It's such a warm, fuzzy feeling."
Well, that might be a question I come up with in a minute. So.
Yeah.
It was very close, similar to like what was it, I think episode we did what you like and what other people don't like, but
Yeah, it's very similar to like the sequels you love but everyone hates sort of thing.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
but this is going back to what John was saying. It's either critically panned or box office panned, as well as like one where everyone's like, I don't like it, but for some reason you do.
Yeah.
I'm sure if anyone has honorable mentions like me, you'll probably go, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
The only thing I think we can be certain of is people are going to really look down on us after this episode.
I don't care. I mean, Indiana Jones was my favourite sequel
all
that everyone hates, but I love, so I don't give a shit.
All those people listening that look to you as the authority on everything's M.T.V.B. movies.
Well, if people can just
TV and
see
board
past the
games.
light that aliens was going to get involved with Indiana Jones at some point, then, again, I'm more intelligent with movies, they're not.
But this is going to trash that.
Yeah,
When you tell them that you love like My Little Pony or something, they're going to
fuck's sake, Dave.
This is number 5.
Fuck's sake.
this is the episode.
Well, it was number 6. It was number 6. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That's his honourable mention.
nobody can see, but he's rewriting his list now quickly, hurriedly.
Yep.
Oh, bump it down to
Pen in
6.
hand.
Is there any particular reason why you would go back to your guilty pleasure at all?
Because I like it.
Yeah? Or is it just that you don't just have it on for like background noise or anything like that at all? It's literally just
sometimes you just want like
you're in the mood for
you
it.
just want trash. You want a trashy movie that just makes you laugh or whatever. That it's not heavy on. It's not
something to just chill out with. Leave your brain
that's
at the door.
necessarily good, but.
They're not trashed. I mean, I love the film.
To you, they're not.
Yeah, no, but I can sit down and watch all of them. There's one there.
So you're telling me that they're ones where you have to sit there and think about and get involved in a story?
It's
Not after.
That's what I'm saying.
After
Leave
the
your brain
first
alone.
time.
And
It's not.
Oh, is that stepmom stuck in the laundry?
for science.
Oh my god.
Oh god. But yeah, I mean, I
He hasn't denied it.
sure. I genuinely love all of them. I could sit down and watch it, and I've watched one of them on my.
But doesn't the quality of the acting in those sort of films like?
One of them's pretty bad.
I seem to have fallen and I can't get out of the washing
Oh Jesus! You fast forward those bits, innit?
Yeah, he only watches
Once
the
you've
action
seen one,
bit.
you've seen
So you
them all.
don't watch them for story.
Well, I do, but they're different.
We talk about guilty pleasure still, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Not your Pornhub channel.
So John, gone.
John, what about you? Is there a reason why you go back to your guilty pleasure sometimes?
Probably the story or maybe the actor that's in it or something. I mean all the films on my list are films I've seen more than once. And they're all films that either didn't do very good in the box office or the critics just didn't like them. But I liked them, so...
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of mine that I practically picked for nostalgia because I watched them as a kid.
Yeah.
And when you're a kid, you don't realise they're so shit until you're an adult and you watch back and you're like, oh, fuck, this movie's actually quite bad. But you still love it because you enjoyed it as a kid.
Yeah,
You know?
mine are either part of a franchise that's already going, or it was the subject matter was something that interested me. My number one is the subject matter that interested me.
That's the exact
Okay.
same for G's.
Yeah,
What?
your movies.
Yeah.
That subject matter, that struggle of trying to get out of the trap situation,
yeah.
escape.
Well, they're not always.
Trapped on,
They're always stuck in a washing machine. Sometimes they're stuck under the bed.
But what I'm saying is the story there, the element
the story
of
that
escape,
counts,
the story of like a desperate struggle of life.
and the person coming in and
Coming
giving
in
them
what?
a hand.
You're going to need to add an extra warning at the beginning.
I really do, don't I?
Yeah.
You've sort of answered the question to this earlier, Dave, but is there a specific genre for your guilty pleasures that you quite are a big fan of? Like if a majority are like cheesy sci-fi movies or action cheesy sci-fi guilty pleasures or anything like that at all?
Well, mine's quite varied, I think.
Yeah? Okay.
Mine's
Same.
varied as well, yeah.
Same.
But it's going to piss people off, I think.
Why would it piss people off?
Because they're going to be like,
Who cares? This is our podcast.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
If they're still listening, they're pissed off, but they're still enjoying themselves at the same time. Like a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Right?
oh, okay.
There we go. See?
But it's like,
what you did
you
there.
said earlier, Dave, your guilty pleasure might not be someone else's. So,
It's at the end of the day, and always is your list.
Yeah.
And your guilty pleasure is something that you enjoy, isn't it? So it's
I'm
not.
doing my list.
So number 5, the question number 5 is going to be the one that you need to answer before your top 5. Like if you can't answer it, then there's no point doing your top 5.
Oh,
right?
okay.
But that was question 3. Question 4 is so say for example you saw one of these guilty pleasures at the cinema. You really enjoyed it, but all your mates really hate it. Do you get embarrassed by that? Do you keep it to yourself, or do you follow along with the rest of the sheep going, yeah, it was shit, but you actually do like it?
No, I mean, I think we've seen a film or two where I've said, oh, I quite like that, and you or someone else said, that's a fucking punch.
Well, like Hellboy 2019.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I'm not afraid to say if I liked the film or not.
That's fine, mate. No, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm not afraid
What
to
about
say
you
that.
guys? Do you ever have a phase where you're like trying to fit in with your mates and like, yeah, that film's shit, but you
I think it depends whether you have a friend who has his podcast that talks about stuff like that.
Because it's going to come back to haunt you.
Then you might have to pretend you know what you're talking about.
No, like I tend to have the reverse effect. So you say I watch a film and then I like it, and then someone like Ant will come up and says you like that because this is silly, this happened, and you're like, oh yeah, But then I come out of the scene, I liked it, and then someone pointing things out sometimes kind of make me not. I don't just say yeah that's true, but I do sometimes judge it on my own code.
I'm pretty sure I've heard Ant shout you down on this actual very podcast where he's made
I
you
think
change
it's
his
no.
list.
I only debated this when he was like John Boyega is the next action hero.
Oh.
And then when I was like, you do realise he's in Star Wars so they can stop racism, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh yeah.
I've never said that. Why would I?
It's on this podcast, mate.
What I say he's good?
Yeah,
it
season
must have
1.
been a joke. It must have been a wild joke to like piss you off or something. I would never have said that. Well, he was.
So I embarrass you.
No, not embarrassed. I said you point things out.
Yeah, but does that embarrass you that I do that?
No, you don't.
Right,
That's what I say. It has like a different effect to what the question you're asking.
Right. Okay.
But no, I don't feel embarrassed. I just feel like when someone says it's rubbish just because so and so, then it kind of enlightens me, but not like I don't join the crowd and get embarrassed or oh yeah, I really did. I've never had that sort of.
You still stick
I'll
with
still
it
stick
and you
with
still
it,
like it for what it is on your opinion.
If I genuinely like it, then I like it. No one's going to change my mind on it.
Good, mate. What about you, Dave?
I mean, I'm stubborn, so yeah, I tend to dislike it. So, and I'm sure I've argued with you on stuff where I've said it's good and you said it's trash. Lost being one of them.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
We've had arguments on that.
Yeah.
Have you ever known me to like not back down from arguing with you on something?
So no, what I'm saying is just like you don't fit in with the crowd. You'll be happy to go. Yeah, I do like it. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good. Yeah. So you're not embarrassed by it. Is what I'm getting at. Yeah.
John is.
How am I?
This is a very combative.
Stop
start,
throwing him
isn't it?
under the bus.
Throw him.
I've got to.
Right. Anyway, we've got to the number 5 question now.
Shit, here we go.
Before we do our top 5s.
All right.
So, before we do our top 5s, are you still going in proud with these movies as your guilty pleasures?
Yeah.
So even though you're going to mention them, are you just going to stick by them,
Yeah.
basically?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still going to watch them, but
take it to the grave.
people are going to hate them. Aren't they?
You really are worried about this list, aren't you? Have fun. Just have fun.
Exactly.
That's what this is all about.
Yeah. Okay.
That shouldn't be worrying.
It's my list, and if people don't agree
Mate,
with my list,
not
fuck
that
them.
many people listen to us to get hate mail, all right? So
Yeah.
don't worry about it.
Let them know that.
Yeah, might be a couple of people that will agree with some of them, but others are going to go, how the bloody hell is that film on your list, sort of thing. But that's my list, so...
Okay.
Words of wisdom from John. Can you put it on a t-shirt?
IMAX that bastard.
I've got that T-shirt already.
G, Are you going to be proud of these when you walk away? So if a fan comes up to you and go, "Oh, I can't believe that was in your top 5," you're going to be like, "Yeah, and."
Yeah, I've got no. I've never been like embarrassed or like.
Well, actually, I think there's one more question. Oh, there is. Oh, sorry.
Like I said again, like these movies, you put it on now, I'll sit down and watch it. I'm not going to walk away.
So,
Same here.
do you? Very last question. Do you own any of these movies you're about to mention?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Proud of it?
Damn, yeah. It's my number one.
Yeah, because it's a guilty pleasure.
Actually, no.
I actually like watching them.
Good.
No,
Now I'm thinking, are they actually
two of them. I think I own two of them.
That's what I'm worried now. That's what I'm worried about now.
So you've
but-
already
I think I
you're
own
already
two
getting
of them,
into it.
actually.
Okay. Yeah.
in my head
I
now.
think so, yeah.
Oh,
I need to
well,
rethink. I need to
hope
go
they-
back over my list. But I know off the top of my head. I own two of them anyway. So there might be a third one in there somewhere.
Okay. Are you ready?
Let's end on a high.
Let's do this.
It's time for a top 5.
And because he was late for this episode, guess who's going to go first?
Up yours, boy.
Right. Just hear me out on this.
Hang on. Right.
Can I just say that's his first words are, hear me out on this.
Hear
After
me
being,
out
"Oh,
on
I'm
this."
just going to have it, innit? I'm just going to own it. Ready?
No, hang on.
What's he doing?
Oh, tension in the studio.
If no one likes our guilty pleasures, or we don't mention any of yours, go get your own fucking podcast. Number 5.
Number 5.
Come on, G.
Go on,
Let's
G.
start with a high.
Right, my number 5.
No pressure.
It's Doom.
Okay, yeah.
June.
With the Rock
Doom, yeah.
and Carl Urban, yeah.
I like.
Damn it! I didn't think of that one.
That was gonna be, that's an honourable mention. 'Cause
Yeah.
I love
When
that
it
as a
first
kid.
came out, I was like, I went and bought the DVD straight away. So and I generally loved it, but it got so bad. I mean, if I watch it now, it's like pretty lame. But
I don't think it's bad. I still enjoy it. I really like that movie, to be
but I
honest.
don't know. Like
You got to admit, it is a guilty pleasure, though, isn't it?
Absolutely. I liked
I
it.
That's a
came
good
out
call,
when it
actually.
came out. I was
That's a good
literally like, yeah, this is good. This is good, but no one talked.
Did you see it in the cinema?
I can't remember how far.
Mate, that first person scene
Yeah.
in the
That's what
cinema
I'm saying.
is...
Okay, it
It's
wasn't
like being on a theme park ride. It's awesome.
kind of cheesy, but if you're looking back now, but
You can't think of Doom to be
Yeah.
serious,
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
That's what's the point.
But yeah, I love obviously like you had the Rock in it of that kind of get all people who didn't know about Doom got it. But I went generally to watch it because of the game. Back
same
in the
here.
day.
Yeah, same here.
I love the film. And I own it. I still got the DVD.
That was the
You've got
movie
it,
I
yeah.
was thinking
Yeah.
of when you said
Yeah.
when you said when you were a kid and you think it's really good because that was that from
Yeah.
that immediately leapt into my.
Nice.
Because I remember thinking at school, I went with my mate to see that at the cinema, and we were like, "This is so badass! This
Right.
is like the best film ever."
Right? Exactly.
That's exactly how I was, and then like it just kind of like no one like for me like I was expecting like people to talk about it, go crazy about it in school, and so it's like what?
Do you know the only other person I've ever heard apart from my friend to ever mention that movie ever is you guys?
Really?
Yes,
Really?
It's probably because people haven't played the game. Then that's
No, I don't even think people. I bet there's a few people listening that don't even know it was
It's
a
even
movie.
a movie, yeah. Because there was a sequel and it was like a straight to TV sort
I
of
haven't
movie.
seen
It's,
that.
it's
I haven't
bad. It's bad, dude.
But yeah, again,
It's not worthy of a guilty pleasure. The sequel.
It's a good call, actually.
It's been I've watched it a couple of times.
I kind of want to watch
ages
it now.
ago.
It's been ages
Yeah,
since
the
I've
thing,
watched
I
it. Yeah,
can't remember
It
exactly.
was on Prime. I don't know if it's still on there.
There's a lot of good. The thing with that movie is that I wish it wasn't just one first person scene.
Yeah, that was kind of near the middle of it.
I reckon they should have had segments in it because there's like a part where they go dark under the tunnels and there's this really, really cool shot where one of them's got his back to like a demon. You can see it crawling behind him and the next shot it goes. It's so well done. And you would have thought if they'd done like a first person scene in that era, that would have been...
Because
brilliant.
The main thing I loved about it is the first person, and I remember just like I wanted more of that. But apart from that, I was just like, "Wow, this is sick!" Like that's it.
Yeah.
But again, like I wish I can talk more about it, but I don't have that much memory of.
The problem is that if people watch it now, they've got to realise that the newer Dooms weren't out at the time. This is like straight off the bat out of after Doom 3.
Yeah.
So a lot of the references in the movie are from Doom 3.
Yeah.
But then they had the actual demons as well, right? The same demons.
Yeah,
They
the
had
only ones that don't show up is like the little heads with from the thing. They got like a head with the legs coming out the side of it.
What about the floating head? The one eye.
What the
just
clacker demon?
The brain.
The brain sort of just like floats.
Oh, I can't remember. It's been a while now.
I'm sure I've seen that.
It probably is. I need to go back and watch it again. It's been a while.
But yeah, like It's a banger, man. Like it was at the time.
Rosamund Pike was in it.
Good.
Like her. She's nice.
Oh yes, yeah, from Gone Girl. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
filthy bitch.
Oh yeah.
But did you know that it is the only movie where The Rock has played a bad guy?
Oh really?
Yeah.
See, I even forgot
He
that.
must have been a bad guy in something else.
Oh wow.
That wasn't his first film. That was after.
No.
Welcome
This is like after like Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah.
When
Was it
all that
after the
stuff.
Scorpion King?
Yes, it was. Yeah. So yeah, not long after that movie actually. To be honest. So yeah,
Oh wow.
good shout, sir.
Thank you. I hope I haven't disappointed anyone.
No, John, what's your number 5, sir?
My number 5. You're not going to like me.
I don't care. Why would I not like you? We don't discriminate here at M.T.V.B.
No, because it's License to Kill.
Why would I hate that?
No, you wouldn't like me for putting it in as a...
What, a guilty pleasure? It's mine. It's one of mine.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
Can't fucking right. It's not in my list.
No.
But I love... Timothy Dalton's my favourite Bond,
No,
so I'm up there with you, mate.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
shout.
Yeah. I mean, I found
Yeah,
it...
come at me, people. Timothy Dalton's my favourite Bond. Fuck you.
Yeah. I found... He only did the 2. This was the second
Yeah,
one.
unfortunately.
It's weaker than than the Living
Daylights, yeah.
Living Daylights is better.
Yeah. That's a bad ass movie.
Oh, yeah.
So he was the Bond before Piers.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan.
So he
yeah.
was actually meant to be Pierce doing those movies, but Pierce was doing Remington Steele, a TV
Yeah.
series at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So he kind of filled in for him until he was out of that.
I mean, it didn't do great in the cinema.
No.
It's the darkest of all the James Bond films.
Yeah, it's like the only 15 rated one out of all of them, isn't it?
But there's so
Darker
many.
than Daniel Craig getting his balls whipped under a his chair.
Yeah, you don't actually see it though. This one, people's heads blow up.
Yeah.
But a very young Benicio del Toro starts whipping women and stuff like that.
Yeah. I was about to say he's in
Yeah.
it, and he's such. He's really, really young. In
People
it.
get eaten by sharks and stuff in
Yeah.
this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bloke gets decompressed, doesn't he? His head blows
His head just
up.
blows off.
Fucking
yeah.
hell, this is a Bond movie.
I mean, the scene that really cemented it for me. I enjoy watching it, but it's such a stupid scene. Is where he tosses the lorry over on
The
its
18-wheeler,
side.
that's such a great
He's got this
stunt.
lorry
It's
on his-
amazing.
It's all on one side, and the bloke shoots
And it
this
misses the missile. It's
The missile
brilliant.
goes-
Typical
I'm like,
Bond.
Exactly. And I watched it and I thought, seriously?
Yeah, come on.
But you can't not like it. Do you know what I mean? So that's why it's on my
But that's
list.
the thing about these guilty
Yeah.
pleasures. They like you love them
Yeah.
for reasons of this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. It's like you say.
it's a good pick.
I,
Yeah.
like going back to what you said. He was a good Bond. He
was a good Bond.
Yeah, when I was growing up, he was originally my first Bond that I knew.
Oh,
I knew
right,
the
yeah.
other ones, but I always thought the old ones. I'm going to stick with the old ones.
No, I mean,
Him.
for me, obviously, I like all the Bond films regardless, but modernising Bond, shall we say, started with him, because then you had Pierce Brosnan and you work your way up. So the ones
Yeah, I mean,
before
it got a bit more serious with
Yeah.
Timothy, didn't it? Because Roger Moore was still that little bit cheesy sort of phase,
I was gonna
wasn't
say,
it? I know you mentioned a bit of a cheesy scene in Living License to Kill, but
Yeah.
it had a bit more of a serious theme to it.
I think with him and Sean Connery, it was all about the puns and the cheesiness.
Yeah.
Whereas from Timothy Dalton onwards, you were getting a lot more action and, and a little bit of cheese.
Yeah.
So it wasn't so bad.
I
But,
felt like
yeah.
his era and afterwards, it was more stylish. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if it was me. I felt like they had more sort of flair, like styles to it.
Yeah, I mean-
even like the little bits like Piers does. Like he's driving the tank and he's like doing this thing with his tie, and I was like, this is so like cool, like the previous Bond. I don't know, maybe it was a different era, but I felt like those two kind of changed it to more like stylish.
Yeah, I mean, going into that one, there was the violent scenes. Some had cheesiness in them.
Yeah.
It's like that bit where the car goes off the cliff and hits the plane. You look and think, seriously, but it's funny, but it's like you're still thinking, fucking hell, because you don't expect it to happen.
But then you could say it with all Bonds. All Bond films had that sort of, it's clearly going to do that because it's a Bond movie. If that car goes over the cliff, of course it's going to hit the
nothing
bad
happens to
guy at the
car.
bottom or something, isn't
Yeah.
it? So
yeah, I mean, if it went over the cliff and nothing happened to it other than it just going down the cliff, then you'd think they could have done something else with it. So yeah, but I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it to hit the plane. So yeah, that's my number 5.
yeah, it's a good shout. See, what were you worried about? Come on.
I know. Go on.
Love them for yours, mate. They are yours.
Yes.
There we go. My number 5.
Come on.
Right. I saw this movie. What year is it now? 23. 7 years ago. And everyone hates this movie. I think I know about 2 people that possibly do love this movie. I know you do for a fact, Big Al. And I know Stuart, if you're listening, who's Gokul's fan, definitely likes this movie. Okay, but my number 5 is BVS, Batman versus Superman.
Oh, wow, yeah.
This is a kick-ass movie. Why do people hate this movie? It's brilliant.
Seriously, when I was doing my research, that came up. I was like, what, really?
Exactly.
I do not get it. Like, why
do people hate this movie?
It was like years in the making for this. Like, you finally get these 2 characters. Well, you've seen it in the book. And it's out, and it does justice. I don't understand.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, it does though. Like, come on, man. Like, even the Batman. I keep saying again.
Ben Affleck's Batman's awesome.
Badass, man. Badass Batman.
Especially that fight scene he has at the end when he kills everyone and just is. Oh my god, it's one of the best Batman fight scenes ever on film. Yeah, and I'm a Keaton fan. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
and it's brutal as well. It's not like, oh, I'm going to take him out.
Yeah,
like, it's like almost he was killing them.
This movie's so action packed. The opening is fucking awesome. You've got to admit, it's like where it's backlashing from Man of Steel, but you see it from a human's perspective of it, isn't it? You don't see the superhuman side of it. So it's good to see that side of how we as humans, have to go through all these buildings crashing down where people are just fighting off of them and stuff. But I just love that, man. It was great.
Can I just say one of my favourite bits in that movie is, I think Batman's, I can't remember, he's driving away. And then he skids, and then Superman shows up. Right,
he's just there, isn't he? Yeah.
And then Superman rips his
rips the top of the Batmobile off, doesn't he? Yeah.
And just think of this: he is the almighty Superman, and Batman is just human.
He's just a human.
He's just
human.
Yeah.
So what would if I was in there? I'm out of there. But he gets out. And all he says to him is, "Do you bleed?" Mind blown.
Yeah,
that guy's got balls of steel.
He doesn't care. He's about to die. He's like, "Tell me, do you bleed?"
His balls must be bats. Like, do you know what I'm saying? That I was just like, oh my god,
steel versus balls of steel.
Yeah, and then you've got to admit the actual fight scene between the 2 guys is good. I mean, it's taken off of Dark Knight Returns from the book, isn't it? Which is how else is Batman going to take on the Superman at the end of the day? There was a good enough reason why they fought. People kicked off about Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, when they keep forgetting it's not Lex Luthor, this is Alex Luthor, his son. So people keep referring to him as Lex Luthor. I figured that. It does my nut, mate. Yeah. I'm a big fan of The Death of Superman, the comic book, which will never see the light of day on a film. So when they brought this type of doomsday into this movie, people kicked off about it. It's like, well, this is as close as you're going to get. Take it for what it is, right? Yeah. And then there's that whole thing where save Martha. And it's like, well, why is that? What's the issue? I mean, I'm a Batman fan, and I didn't know that Bruce Wayne's mum was called Martha as well. Yeah. Did you know that? Be honest.
No, I didn't.
Because I didn't.
I didn't.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know.
I can see why people were annoyed at that, but it didn't. It made sense to me.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
And then the fucking the fight at the end, Doom.
It's kick-ass, right? And Wonder Woman steps in and everything.
Dude, it's
explosion after explosion. There's a good story. The director's cut is brilliant because it's gotten where Batman is more of a detective into there. Clark Kent's in it a bit more, so it's good to see that. Oh my God, man. I just don't know why people shit on this movie.
Because
it's a guilty pleasure for me big time. I pop that fucker in any time I fancy a good fucker. It's just, come on, man.
What I'm stopping.
People are just way too picky, man. They just don't want to have like a good fun. I literally sat in the cinema and I enjoyed the fuck out of this. It's just like I saw people walking out shaking their heads and everything, and I'm just like, when I put a review out for it, I used to have my own website page or fan page of it on Facebook where I would review movies and stuff, and I got trolled the fuck out of reviewing this film big time. Everyone hated it. Everyone was like, so I stopped doing it in the end because everyone just was hating on me because I liked a movie that everyone else hated.
But it was obvious that they hated it because they know someone else who hated it. They didn't hate it because they understood it. They hated it because other people hated it.
It's not a bad
because
film,
anyone who watches it and understands it wouldn't hate it.
I would say, to go far as I think it's probably one of the best DC films, like up there at least. It's got to be. It's got to be in
I prefer it to Man of Steel. Yeah. Man of Steel's an okay movie, but I think this is way better. It's way more entertaining.
I'm
See, I told you this was going to be controversial.
Come at me, guys. I don't care. I've got my own podcast now. I don't need the website anymore. Exactly.
Well, until people troll you off the podcast.
And this is exactly, until people troll me off this podcast.
I don't have the balls to put it.
But that's the point of this. This is the point I'm trying to get at with this episode, is to like what you like and don't let anyone else ever change it.
No.
So Batman vs Superman, I'll always stick by my guns as a great movie, as definitely a guilty pleasure. My number 5's done. Dave, Rock God, number 5.
Wow.
Beat that.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, how do I follow for that? My number 5 is Nacho Libre.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Black, Mexican wrestling.
Jack Black. Yeah.
Nacho Libre. Yeah. Nacho Libre.
So, like this
That rings a bell, but
it's Jack Black.
Jack Black.
Jack Black is the Mexican wrestling.
But he's...
Oh, yeah.
with
But
the
I don't think I've seen it. I know of it, actually. Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
Typical Jack Black.
It's typical Jack Black, being Jack Black. I don't know.
And it's done by the guy who did Napoleon Dynamite, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's his second film. But
I just... It's just about rags to riches.
Yeah.
Because he's sort of brought up in a convent, wanting to be like a
That's it,
as a fat kid, wanting to be like a Mexican wrestler.
Does he find the mask or get given it or something?
Well, no, he's got his own little crappy mask at the beginning when he's a kid, and then he's like he grows up into a fat guy, and no one takes him seriously, and then he just goes on like the Mexican wrestling sort of to become natural.
But is he actually Mexican?
Well, I'm not sure, but this is where it gets a bit.
Jack Black.
He puts the accent on, doesn't he?
He does put the accent on, so
it's
I don't know.
It's probably not very PC now.
That's what I mean. I don't know where it stands now, but I just love that film. It makes me laugh.
That's a good call, actually.
And I don't think it's that popular. I don't think it.
It's that type of comedy. There's a name for it now, where it's comedy, but it doesn't involve bad language. I can't think of the name of it now. The
soft
slapstick
comedy.
No, I can't remember.
Softcore comedy.
Not slapstick.
No, I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah, it's very. If you like Napoleon Dynamite, you'll definitely love this movie. I've only seen this movie once, so I can't remember much of it. I remember like a scene with the egg or something, and I remember that. I just love, and it's again probably quite un-PC in today's thing, but I just love Jack Black's Mexican accent. I am the best. Does he actually get to wrestle at the end now? I can't remember.
Yeah, he does wrestle.
He does wrestle,
I think he wrestles twins or so, doesn't he?
Yeah, I can't remember if he actually did or not.
Yeah, because it's all about him and there's a bit of a love interest in there. It's nothing new or particularly innovative. But it's a feel-good film, and it's one of those ones I put on when I just want like a laugh. And,
that's good.
Me and my brother, we watched it at home. So we always just randomly, every so often, it'll be like, Nacho Libre.
That's good though. You've got like the. So I've got those sort of films with my sister that we used to watch as kids, and we'd be like, we do those sort of quotes and whatnot. Yeah. So it's good that,
But it's
not
not like
people do that as well.
Like I say, it's not like you can call it a. Like a defining movie or anything.
Yeah, but Jack Black.
But no,
any
movie's a guilty pleasure.
No, but I would say he's one of his less known ones. I mean, he is basically doing like a Mexican Jack Black, but
I'll probably watch it just for that.
But
it is funny. It is a funny film.
Honestly, I remember the trailers.
You've got the power of download, mate. You should watch it. You'll watch it at least once.
Yeah, I should.
Especially if you like Jack Black. I mean, like Dave said, it's typical Jack Black.
Has he got any songs in it?
He does sing a couple of songs, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sold.
I'm sold.
He doesn't do anything but Peaches, by the way, so don't.
No.
Oh, Peaches.
But no, if you don't like Jack Black, you're going to hate it. If you don't like, I suppose, cultural appropriation, you're probably going to hate it.
Probably stick away, yeah.
But I just love it. I think it was like early 2000s. Was it
funny.
2006 or something?
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
Something like that.
Maybe a bit earlier than that. But yeah, I just really enjoy it. And I can't really tell you why. It's just, it's a nice, easy laugh. And yeah, I just
when you
like
share
Jack
with your
Black.
brother as well.
Why not I share with my brother? So, again,
Nice, man.
come at me.
Yep.
Yeah. Come at me, people.
Come at me, bro.
I'll support you too. Don't worry.
Nice.
Even though he's not seen it. Number 4's.
Number 4.
Back to you, G.
Right. This one, after watching it, I've generally just loved it. And only after no, I still love it. Don't get me wrong.
I was going to say, you still
I'll
love
say
it,
what
right?
it is. It's Terminator Salvation.
Oh, okay.
And,
Yeah.
I thought this was because it's the one with the Christian Bale on it. and I thought this is it. They're gonna take it in this direction, and the story, the things they've put into it, like he's like a machine that was like been operated back in time, and
he's essentially the first ever T-800, isn't he?
So I was, oh my god,
which was the model that Arnie wasn't it?
So
the first time a human was looking like a Terminator, or a Terminator.
So
was
I thought
like
he was been alive all this time. So I thought, they're going to explore this idea and stuff, and and obviously they have that big mech of the big.
It's all the earlier versions of the Terminators we already know, isn't it? So it's because Judgment Day was 2029, isn't it? Yeah. And I believe the year is 20.
I know it's in the future,
28 or something. I can't remember.
But it takes it's after Judgment Day, but then it happens like a couple of in the future though. Does it not? Yeah, because everything's all desolated.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, but it's not as far into the future as we know, because in the other two movies it's like 20 something. Yeah. So this is a little bit earlier. This is pre that war, isn't it?
That's it. And I was just like, because I was a massive fan of Terminator 2 and all the previous ones. And if am I correct, this is before Terminator 3 as well?
It's after Terminator 3.
It's after that one, isn't it? Yeah. So because I don't quite like that one, but this one I just thought it was like, story wise, and it was better than number 3. I felt like, and I just found out it wasn't.
It's the most different. It's the most different out of the lot, because, like you said, it's going into that war that we're all waiting to see, that we know about. Yeah, but just an earlier version of it, isn't it? Because the very opening to that movie is when John Connor goes into that lab, the underground lab, where they're building the T-800s, and then when he gets the flare, he said, "Look, my mother was right. Yeah, she predicted this and all this." I love stuff like that, because
it's just the submarine that they're all.
That's it. Yeah, with Christian Bale. Yeah,
and I think also in the beginning they show a flashback of him being worked on or something like that, as being made as a robot. The very very open is when he's he's on lethal injection. He dies, doesn't he? And he signs up to be part of the program, doesn't he? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then I was just like, "Oh, this is
that's
going to
cool.
go good."
I like that.
Yeah, but and then I think people didn't like it because Arnie wasn't in it. I felt like, but
or was he?
But it was CGI. So
no, it was CGI, darling.
So even that moment was brilliant. You still,
it's a cool movie. I love Salvation.
Awesome.
Salvation's underrated.
There's I like that film as well. There's a cool scene in that as well, where all the humans get put in like a container, don't they?
Yeah. That's right.
And then they get lifted into like a human containment area, and it's like a cattle grid.
That's it. It's like they go to Skynet, don't they? And whatnot.
Yeah, and there's all the robot, up just like, and they're all people are screaming and panicking, and there's women and children. And
what were they doing to them again? Were they harvesting?
They're learning to make them look like humans, aren't they? So they use them to
But that was scary.
I can't remember. Does he turn at the end? Sorry, I know it's my last word.
Sam Worthington,
Christian Bale, does he turn into a bad guy?
No.
He's got a chip in his head or something. I can't remember exactly.
No,
because they suspect him because they find out he's half robot, half human.
That's Sam Worthington's character. Yeah. Now Christian Bale was John Connor.
Am I mixing it up?
You switched them over. Sam Worthington is the Terminator. They find out halfway through, don't they? He's a Terminator.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. I've mixed the characters up. Sorry.
But there's a cool scene. So the part where Arnie's Terminator nearly kills John Connor. Yeah. And he scratches his head, doesn't he?
Yeah, and that's how you get the.
That's how he's got the scar from the beginning of Terminator 2. I was like, oh, that's a nice little
but it's a shame. To me, I feel like even now that I feel that story's happened in that universe.
I'm glad they never carried on with it.
Carry on. Like the next previous films, it's just I feel like they just
went back and tried to change the whole thing again. Yeah.
Do you think it was fatigue for like post-apocalyptic Brown movies?
Most likely, yeah.
That dropped that, because I did like that movie.
Yeah, it was amazing, bro.
I really like it.
It was really good. But
it's so much more different to the other Terminator movies. That's why I think it stands out.
It's like what you said. Shame they didn't, continue with it, because it would have been quite interesting, and it was a different direction that it was going in, and shame.
Yeah,
I liked it.
And did you know that Christopher Nolan's brother wrote that movie? Jonathan Nolan.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, who also wrote Westworld TV series.
That's a good early seasons on that. So
yeah. First two are brilliant.
Yeah,
Westworld
gets me every time. Did you know?
Did you know? Well, you're picking movies I know facts on. So.
You see.
Amazing. Yeah, sorry, it's sort of short, sweet.
Do you know what? I had the Terminator movies all in all the because I really enjoy all the sequels, but that was a standout. As an honourable mention, that was going to be on there. So I'm glad you picked it, sir.
Thank you.
Respect. John. Number 4.
My number 4 is...
I need to get a drum roll button on it.
It's part of the Underworld series.
Okay.
Blood Wars. I think it's the 4th.
The 4th one, right?
Yeah, 4th
yeah.
one, I believe.
Right, you're going to have to explain why you like this, because they do get shit after.
1 and 2 is good, right?
I love number 2. Number 2 is
Yeah.
like my fucking guilty pleasure.
I
of the series.
like all the Underworld series because Ant knows I'm a big vampire. I love vampires.
He's a big vampire.
Look forward to that episode in season 7, guys.
No, I do enjoy. That would be a guilty pleasure of mine. Would be any vampire movie. Basically, I would watch any vampire movie.
You should have just said that then.
No.
I've kind of got a genre. I can pick one in my list, so
Okay. Yeah.
so I'm going to pick all the films.
Okay. So Blood Wars, basically,
Is that the last one?
no.
There's 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Then 3 went back.
Yeah.
That was-
So 4
was
is
that Rise of
technically.
the Lycans.
That's
three?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
So
it worth
4
watching
is
all of
technically
them?
the sequel to 2. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it worth watching all of them? Because I know one. I love one.
I've only seen up to 4. 4 was so bad. I never really carried on with it.
Right, sell it, John.
Go on.
That's the one with the big fucking wolf, isn't it? Werewolf. Number 4.
I can't remember.
It's got the big fucking werewolf in the car park.
They make
That seems pretty cool, I get.
Yeah, the werewolves and the vampires are chasing Celine, who is Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
PVC.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Sorry, lady fans.
What's not to like? Anyway, at the end of the 3rd one,
Second one. She's not in the 3rd one.
well, yeah, but she secretes away her daughter
Okay.
because she doesn't want to know where the daughter is because they will try to find her because of her blood.
It's not her blood, is it? It's the mix of...
Yeah,
That's the beginning of the 4th one.
Yeah.
Talk about.
So the daughter goes missing. So they and by this stage they're all both the vampires and the werewolves are chasing Celine because they both parties want to kill her. So the vampires realise that if they can't get to the daughter, they need Celine because her blood is purer. So they decide to do a pact and they trick her into coming back, and they basically take a load of her blood. Excuse me. And then they get her to train a load of new troops, shall we say, and then set her up by poisoning her and killing them all and setting her up as if she's killed them. So they end up chasing her again. But they've got her blood, so they don't really care. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I just like it. I mean, it is the weakest of all the films, but I do like all. There's something that's 5 altogether. I like all the Underworld series of films. I like the way. I mean, it's a bit cheesy about in the end she decides to kill herself, so she drowns herself in this lake, and she gets saved by.
Can vampires drown? I thought they were immortal, weren't they?
I'm not sure because at the end of 2 she can walk in the daylight, so I'm not quite sure how Celine.
I think she.
If she's more like Blade now, if she's like half human, half vampire thing now, I have no idea.
Which gets even worse by the end of the film because she.
The 4th one or the 5th one?
The 4th one in this Blood Wars,
right?
Because she goes in. She ends up in this lake. She crashes through the ice, goes into this lake. She decides that's it. I've had enough now. I might as well die, sort of thing. So
franchise over.
She puts she puts her arms out and she lets herself sink to the bottom of the lake. But she gets rescued by these, shall we say, Nordic vampires.
Okay,
and they end up bringing her back to life, and she ends up with these new powers. She ends up with the power of speed. So when she goes back, I just liked it, Okay.
well, it's your pick, mate. I'm not.
It was just when you said the power of speed, I just imagined somebody like in a club, just like
So-
Yeah.
What happened?
No. She's a bit like she ends up a bit like the Flash, where she's able to move really, really quickly, and she's able to. She goes back basically to try and reclaim her daughter and stuff like that, and she ends up in this massive fight with Marius, who's one of the top vampires, and. She just literally goes from you just see this little blur. She blurs between them all, and she's able to kill them all. And I just liked it. Yeah,
that's fine, mate.
I mean,
it didn't do very well.
I mean, I haven't seen is Blood Wars the fifth one?
Fourth one.
Fourth one. There is a fifth one. I haven't seen that. I've only seen the fourth one once, which was at the cinema.
I think the fifth one was Awakening.
I mean, you could argue that all of the Underworld now is a bit of a guilty pleasure because it was very of its time.
100%, yeah.
It was very of its time for younger people who might not have watched it. It was in that era where everything had to be really dark,
Twilight,
moody, and kind of like a bit emo, you know, or goth.
Fucking goths.
Goths, yeah. So you need to turn a light on in that film.
I give that another 10 years, they'll get remade.
Well,
they'll probably have that woman from Dune, like Zendaya or something, play her or something.
Zendaya,
you know, Zendaya.
The first part remade. You said.
Yeah,
just the franchise alone get redone.
She has a reboot. She was asked to come back
as opposed to a remake, a reboot,
or reboot even. Yeah, sorry,
new story in the same universe.
I'd like to see that, to be honest with you. I mean, she's refused to come back for a sixth film, so they may not.
It was before,
Yes. Yeah. So the whole
2003 was
the whole Vampires versus Werewolves.
Underworld 3,
Underworld
1 was 2003.
Who's got Twilight on their list?
What, John, what happened?
I
can't remember because I remember watching one of them. I believe it's the first one. What happened to the guy that has dual? I think he's half vampire, half something.
He gets taken out. Yeah.
Does he die or something?
Yeah, this Marius guy kills him.
But she has the kid with him, didn't she?
Yeah.
So that's part one, right?
No,
that's two.
Oh, right, yes. I've seen 1 and 2 then. Because I was like, that's where the point I watched it and I was like, oh, this is going to go good. But for some reason, I never ended up.
Yeah, the story does get weaker. I think they should have left it at the end of 2, maybe even 3. And then
2 ended it fine. They should have stopped there.
Yeah.
But like I said, the third one was a prequel, and then fourth was the one that carried on.
Is the prequel any good?
I'll tell you what, though, that first fucking movie.
One's a prequel, one's a sequel.
Oh, the first one, yeah. The first 2, hands down.
Again, I watched that when I was young, probably about 13 or 14, and that was badass.
It was kick-ass.
When that first bit, and you have the first... Is it the vampire and he pushes out? Oh no, the werewolf, the lead werewolf.
Yeah, he pushes all the bullets out, doesn't he?
He rips his shirt off and he's like, and all the bullets he squeezes them out, doesn't he? He squeezes the bullets out of his body.
Yeah,
and it's like I was like, oh.
And he was like, "This is metal."
Yeah. He screamed, and I just realised you're in shorts.
I like that dude with the 2 whips, and he tries to beat the werewolf out. That was pretty cool.
That's right.
That's a badass thing.
And fails.
Fails miserably. I mean, it's a whip for fuck's sake. It's a whip to a gunfight.
Yeah, 2 whips, isn't it?
Whips are only useful for accidentally smacking yourself on the back of the head in real life, aren't they?
Probably, yeah.
Let's face it.
So yeah, that was my number 4. So
Underworld 4 was your number 4.
Blood Wars, yeah.
Nice. Fuck, it's my turn. Shit. My number 4 is an 80s movie I watched as a kid in the cinema to one of my favourite 80s franchises of all time, He-Man, Masters of the Universe, starring Dolph Lundgren. Fuck yeah, this is a kick-ass movie. I don't care what anyone says.
I haven't seen it.
That's a bit of a
It's so kick-ass that they have not made another He-Man movie since. But hey, this movie's brilliant. This movie just screams guilty pleasure, and I mean it's so crap now, but I literally watch it only for one person in this film, and that's Frank Langella's Skeletor. He is kick-ass. He is one of my favourite movie villains, kids villains of all time. That guy carries that film, because at the time Dolph Lundgren couldn't even speak any English very well at the time. That's why he has barely any lines in the movie, but I still love it to this day, man. I mean, for an 80s film on the budget, the time shows they had everything, it is wicked, man. It doesn't fulfill what I wanted to see as a kid when, you know, because you had Eternia and all that, which is in the movie for all of 5 minutes, and the rest of it takes place on Earth. But still, for what it was, man, I cannot deny I friggin' love this film.
Yeah, that is like that, and Nacho Libre are the definition of.
I've never seen it, right? I just have a question.
I know of it, but I haven't seen it either. So.
Have you never seen it?
No, don't judge me.
Commentary corner.
Yes, that's a good idea, actually.
Jesus Christ, that would be awesome.
Come on, we got to do that then.
Did you must have watched the cartoon first, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Did you feel like at the time this is better than the cartoon, or was it, the cartoon's way better?
Oh, the cartoon was way better.
Yeah.
But it was the sort of, because this was before Ninja Turtles was even a movie and everything. So this was essentially the first cartoon that came to life on the big screen and everything. And this thing was huge at the time when it came out. It was massive. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but in Ghostbusters 2, there's a part where they do the song, and they're at a kids' party, and they're like, "Who are you going to call?" And they all shout, He-Man, He-Man. And it was because of that movie. That movie was so big and made a shit ton of money, but was critically panned big time because of how it was and how it was made and stuff like that, and how only a fraction of it is from the actual series itself and everything. But it's just a fun thrill ride, which I hope they ever bring out a director's cut.
How did they do his ride, the tiger?
He's not in it.
He's not in it.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
There's no budget for it. Because, like I said, Eternia, it gets under attack by Skeletor at the very beginning, and then I don't want to spoil the movie, but they have to go to Earth. There's a reason why they have to go to Earth and pick something up and come all the way back and save the sorceress of Eternia and Castle Grayskull. Because at the very beginning of that movie, you see Castle Grayskull, and it looks nothing like the show. But you're like, oh, as a kid, you're like, oh my god, there's a sorceress, there's Castle Grayskull, and then you got a commentator like narrator talking over the beginning. It's like the power to be supreme, the power to be almighty, the power to be. Title comes up, Masters of the Universe. I was like, I was like, so much jizz had come out this 8-year-old ant watching this in the cinema. It was the best thing ever. It still is. It's awesome. I love this movie. I love it. There are different enemies in this that aren't even in the film. That are, in the series that are in the movie. You get replaced by them. They're still cool. They're kick-ass. I think it shot quite well as well for what it was. And I watched a documentary recently about this, and just the amount of things that they could and couldn't do because the studio was literally going bankrupt at the time. So, like you said, Battle Cat didn't get involved. Orko's not in it. Man of Arms, he is in it, beg your pardon. Other characters that were in the show didn't make it.
They must have done some sort of clay animation. They could easily have done him like that or something.
No, that's what I'm saying. The budget, man, was like next to none. It was literally next to none. There are other little things they do with it, like, probably take up the budget or whatnot, but it's just a shame that it could, because at the very end of the film, it was like, there was a, did you know that He-Man had one of the very first end credit scenes at the end?
No way.
At the end credits, and it's literally just Skeletor coming up from the grave going, "I'll be back," and we're yes, there's going to be a sequel, and it never came. It's still 40 years later, we haven't got that sequel yet.
Damn,
still waiting.
So we're still waiting, people. I don't mind if Dolph Lundgren comes back. But yeah, man, number 4, He-Man Masters of the Universe. Nice. Any day of the fucking week. Come at me. Dave, follow it.
What the fuck do I have to go after this guy?
Beat that.
I'm sure he can.
No, I'm not going to.
Oh, okay.
No, it's going to sound naff compared to that.
Come on, I'll support
my number 4
can't be worse than mine.
is a film called The Eagle.
That's
Channing Tatum.
Yes.
And Billy Elliot, the guy who
Is this
plays
the-
Billy.
that's the Roman one.
soldier?
Yeah,
Yes, right, I'm
Romans.
thinking the wrong ones. Yeah, but I know what you mean, yeah.
What, the Roman soldier?
I'll be honest, I've never seen this.
Good film.
So please tell me about it.
This is why I picked it, because I don't think anyone really knows about it. But it's got like big name. It's got
Yeah,
Channing
I liked
Tatum
it.
in
told me about
Is it
this.
Ralph,
I did, yeah.
Ralph Fiennes?
It's rough.
Joseph Fiennes?
Might be, I can't remember. But it's like, and it's
about the Romans and Britain.
yeah. So it follows. It's loosely based on real
based on a true
history.
Story. Yeah.
I'm going to talk about history here. Are you okay with that?
I'm okay. Just try and prove it to me afterwards.
Prove it to you afterwards. I'll go and dig up some Romans. But the 9th Legion came to Britain and was going to invade Scotland, and it got destroyed or lost. So no one came back from it. No one knows about it. What happened to them? And it was a big shame for the Roman Legion, the Roman Empire, who were the dominant power at the time, had so much more military experience, technology, stuff like that. They went up into the Highlands and the Lochs, and they just disappeared.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets a bit cheesy. Channing Tatum's character is the son of the guy who was in charge of the 9th Legion.
Yeah,
so he's got the shame of his father losing, basically just being defeated. But the fact that the Roman Eagle was let to fall, the standard that they used to carry into battle at the head, is lost. So it's him. He's like, I'm going to go and retrieve my family honour.
Yeah.
So it's a bit. It's like a cliched sort
By
of.
going to get the eagle back.
He wants to go and get the eagle back, and in the process, sort of find out what happened
Okay.
to his father and things like that.
It's a good film.
I love this film.
like that.
Yeah?
But it's a bit cliche, and I do understand that. And along the way, he picks up a Briton slave.
Yeah.
So, Britain's been conquered by this point and pretty much enslaved. And this is the Billy Elliot actor whose name escapes me at the time.
Jamie Bell.
If it is, yep.
Yeah, Jamie Bell.
He's like a British tribesman, and he knows obviously the way up north because it's his land kind of thing. So he kind of ends up with Channing Tatum.
So it's with his enemy, is it? Or?
No, they are. Well, he doesn't like him because he's an invader who's conquered his land.
Yeah.
But he sort of goes along with him to help find this eagle. So it's a little bit of a buddy thing as well.
Right.
The two of them going on their little... Yeah, going on their adventure. And they go
Eagle
up north.
friends.
Yeah. And they go up north and, go to try and sort of fight. And there's some, like I say, and it's very cliched and it's been done so many times before. And it never really stood out, but like I say, I'm a bit of a sucker for, like, stuff like that.
History and...
Like ancient history, like Romans and stuff like that.
What made this
It's like
one
a very
more...
poor man's Gladiator in a way. In that,
really?
The only other film I can think of that does Romans is all that sort of.
Yeah. Well, I can think of,
so,
yeah.
Basically, for me, it was like anything else I can have in that, even if it's nothing new, I'm going to enjoy.
Yeah,
And there's some good action in it.
I like that film.
There's some good action in it.
Is it brutal? Like, is it like violence, like Gladiator? or
It's not. Well, yeah, you've got
As in
like
like
fighting and stuff like that. Yeah, because they go up.
heads getting cut off.
It just seems weird casting Channing Tatum as a Roman.
I know. Yeah,
But he must pull it off if you like it.
the Romans are like clean cut, aren't they? They're quite.
Yeah. Spartacus taught me that.
Yeah, as opposed to like your sort of crusty Highland
John-looking
bandit,
person.
Yeah.
Crusty looking John.
Well, no, that's Ireland. That's a different story.
My eagle.
Yeah. So yeah, like I say, I just really enjoyed it. It's
I need to look this up because I know of this movie, but I just
matter
don't know why I've never
He's
watched
mentioned
it.
it to me a while ago, and
It's a good, easy watch. Like it's nothing new. That's why I put it on here, and probably why it hasn't.
2011.
Yeah, why it hasn't done any more. It's sort of faded into obscurity a bit, purely because it's nothing new. You know, there's no new. It's just that it's like to restore my honor, and its enemies become friends, and through battle and conflict together, and they have to save it. You know, the Briton has to overcome his sort of prejudice to save and help his friend, and then at one point he does like the Sam and Frodo really gay look at the end. Like, yeah, we're friends now. I like
More than friends.
but yeah, no, it's good, and yeah.
I need to look that up then and give it a go. I will go under your recommendation, sir.
Yeah, but like I say, it's a simple watch. I just really enjoy it because I like it. Goes because I like the subject matter.
Sure.
I think there's a bit of a dearth of it in the sort of, apart from if there's a lot of TV Roman stuff, isn't there?
Yeah.
Spartacus, Rome, things like that.
Rome's amazing.
I just want to see more of it.
honestly, right?
Yeah.
And I like that. It's that sort of, it's trying to do, or it felt to me like it was trying to do that thing that they did in the beginning of Gladiator.
Okay.
Where you've got the Roman legions with their like discipline and regimentation, and then they're going into like the dark forests, the unknown spaces on the map, the wild areas, and then you just hear like through the trees like, and then like and suddenly
John taking a shit.
yeah. And then suddenly, from nowhere, you've got all these painted warriors just just coming out of nowhere with brutal fury and believing that if they painted themselves blue rather than wearing metal as armor, that they would survive against being stabbed, which didn't really work well. But there we go.
Yeah, didn't work for them, did it?
But I think Scotland remained completely unconquered, so they did something right.
Must have done something right.
Yeah.
History, bitch.
Or science.
Well, then you remember at the start of the conversation you said apparently, so we don't know if that's official. Anyway, I'm still gonna fight this guy. Anyway, long story, guys. I keep fighting Dave when it comes to history lessons here, but anyway,
He just doesn't believe anything pre Ant's birth.
pre 1982, guys.
I think he's right though, Dave.
Thank you. This is nothing on. So anyway, that's a different subject. Number 3.
Number 3.
Back to you, sir.
Right, my number 3. I gotta say it's probably one of the best shark films,
Okay.
and it's a big, strong.
Sharknado. Sharknado?
No,
Oh.
it's Deep
Jaws.
Blue Sea.
Yeah, yeah. All
Did
right.
you say Jaws?
Yeah, I'm waiting for him.
That really guilty pleasure.
For
Jaws.
me, this is Jaws.
I was waiting for him
me.
to say something like that.
Because
What the fuck?
I know.
I think it came out around.
This is your generation's Jaws, you mean?
Yeah. It was a cracking film. I loved it.
I friggin' love this
Deep Blue
movie,
Sea,
man.
yeah.
Deep Blue Sea is amazing.
so good.
Thomas Jane's at his peak time there, man.
And I love Cool J.
Hello, Cool J is a chef, a priest, and a chef. Yeah,
Yeah.
But like if anyone's not heard of it, go check it out. It's basically about these group of researchers are studying or like doing something.
Alzheimer's, cure for Alzheimer's.
And they're like using something to do with sharks. They've contained them, and obviously these sharks are.
The sharks cure Alzheimer's.
Well,
is that the premise of the movie?
No, not really. But
No, they put something in their brain, which is a chemical to help cure.
and
But they have to make their brain bigger, don't they?
Via their teeth, by biting them in the head.
no, they actually
Okay.
and they kind of grow intelligent and they cause havoc and this.
As a side effect, the sharks got smarter.
Yeah, and it's basically like a survival
Saffron
horror.
Burrows, everyone.
Survival horror in this sort of like in the middle of this ocean, and they've got this base that goes all the way down. That's
right, yeah.
and it's just so cool looking, and how these sharks are like tactically not well. Cleverly, hunting them down and stuff, and that's
They
the
work
premise
together,
as well,
don't they?
yeah. And it's just I from to this day I still think it's like I think 2 came out. I think we watched
2 and 3 are
Yeah.
out, but they're like straight to TV
DVD,
films. They're
but-
literally one of the worst movies ever
Yeah.
made. And it's such a shame because they could have done so much. They could have made a bigger budget
I'll
version
say-
of 2. It would have been brilliant.
I can say Meg came closer, but I'll still
I
say
like it.
Deep Blue Sea is like amazing, dude. Like
Rennie Harlan as well, who did Die Hard 2 and Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
and it's just like for me, I love like sort of like survival horror, like you're trapped and there's nowhere to go, and
He's going back to the. Oh no! I've fallen and trapped in the washing machine.
Go back to we're trapped in the
just
underground water basement, stepmom.
Do you want a hand?
Just before the sharks arrive.
But I still remember, like, I'm not going to sound racist, but when they got to the end, I really thought like LL Cool J was going to die, but it was like he's I think he's the only last survivor, or him and someone else.
him and Thomas Jane, the last 2, yeah.
I was like, oh look, they done something different at the time. I don't.
Oh, so that's why you like it, because it's not racist.
No, but it's come on, it is cracking film. I think me and you
I love that movie,
It's not
dude.
a bad movie.
Dude,
It's a
I
wicked-
went to the cinema at least 5 times to watch that in 99. 99 was my year of movies. It was one of the best years for cinema. And me and my dad went to go see that opening night. It was a cracking film, man. I love that film.
It's good. Have you guys seen it? Anyone else?
Yeah, I've seen it.
You've not seen it, dude?
No.
It's good.
You'll like it,
It's
dude.
good. It's not.
You'll
It's
like
not
it.
like. I wouldn't say cheat. I didn't feel like it was
Dude,
cheesy.
it's,
Is
don't-
it
don't-
cheesy?
yeah.
Well, maybe at the
Watch
time,
it, just
but
watch it. It's worth a watch.
there was like some good scenes as well. But so they've got this shark like trapped, and they have to do something to its like mouth, and it's
They have
literally,
to take the membrane out.
yeah.
don't they? Yeah.
So something's gonna. It's like proper like, and then it does.
But it hits at the last minute when
Yeah.
you're like, you forget about it, and you're like, oh shit, that happened.
and even when like the sharks are like one at a time trying to smash the mirror.
Mate, don't talk about it too much if he hasn't seen it, because he needs to watch it. Commentary corner. That would be fucking awesome.
We're doing loads of commentary.
So
corner.
I know,
what
we have to.
else on the list? That what you said?
What's that?
What was the commentary corner? Oh, He-Man.
And He-Man.
Yeah.
We don't have to. You just come around and watch it. It'd be awesome.
But yeah, cracking film. I've still got because I went to watch it at my friend's house at the time. I remembered perfectly because
You not see it in the cinema?
No,
Oh, okay.
I think I was still
You're too young.
Too young.
Yeah.
And my friend's dad is a massive like movie collector like yourself, and he used to have cupboards and cupboards of movies. And I remember him booting it up with the old, AOL and all that crappy dial-up internet. But obviously, but he's got his first sort of, PC
miss
with
that.
the DVD. Watched it, and I was just
Dude,
like, this is
I remember when the
amazing.
first ever teaser trailer came out. So this was when teaser trailers were
Good.
good and you didn't actually
I
know what the
remember you
movie was
talking about,
about. And like the whole thing is just about these, you just see these people on a, the research base you're talking about, whatnot. And it's like, oh, they're all nice and happy. And then
Yeah.
an explosion happens. You don't know why. And then it comes up saying Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wow, okay. We'll give that a go. And the next minute you just see the shark pulling that woman down, and it's like, oh fuck, it's a shark movie. Shit, yeah.
And so
that's how you do a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
So why is this a guilty pleasure then?
Like I said, if you watch,
it's a fun watch. It's just such a
it
popcorn film. It's brilliant.
Did it get panned then?
It didn't receive as much as it could have done.
Didn't do well. But like this, it's the way
was,
it hunts them around the base, because like, obviously there'll be rooms where it's all filled. Obviously, some shit happens, and some of the rooms get filled with water, and they're walking through, and you're like, "Oh shit, the shark's gonna get them," and stuff like that. And at the top, it's like I think there's just like some sort of like trapped sort of cages, but you can't see in the sea. It's pretty much nothing there. So when they first arrive, it's like nothing on the top, but all the base is underground. And I thought at the time when I was watching, I was like, this is like really creative and this is unique. I've never seen whole base underwater sort of thing, and those kind of thing I really enjoyed.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you get to like the characters. It builds up on them. And you kind of want them to get out. It's very much like Aliens. You learn about the characters more than the actual monsters themselves, sort of thing. Similar to, and then you kind of forget, oh shit, this is a shark movie. We got sharks in this movie.
And you just
it's
know
such fun, man. It's just such a great. It was one of those films where it was the audience liked it more than the critics, and that's why its box office was very like mediocre. Sort of, it wasn't very as it could have been. But I think it's one, like you said, it got noticed a bit more through video, and DVD, and Blu-ray. Yeah. And then you got the shitty sequels, which is another reason why people don't go back to it as much either. So
it's a shame.
It is a shame. Cracking film. Good shout.
Thank you.
John, number 3, sir. Follow that.
My number 3 is a film that I know you don't like. I don't think any of you like it. It's a Simon Pegg film, and you know what. As soon as I say that, you know which one it is. World's End, the third of the.
I like it. I like it.
You said you didn't like it.
Oh, okay. So I didn't like it the first time I watched it, but I've watched it more, and I do like it more.
Yeah, it's not as good as.
How is that guilty pleasure?
Because it's not the best out of the 3.
No.
Yeah, but it's still better than like I would say.
It didn't do great in the cinema. I think probably because people didn't maybe they didn't get it. Or whatever,
it's his guilty pleasure, Dave.
Yeah. It's his guilty pleasure.
I don't think it should be a guilty pleasure. That movie's great.
Yeah, I like that film. So. I just think it's quite funny, really, like him and the five friends trying to go back and relive what they did when they were kids. The
first 45 minutes of that movie I love because it's just about them and the good times they had, trying to get your buddies back. Yeah. It's such a great story to build up for these guys. It's typical Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright writing it is. It's just brilliant.
And then he gets, Gary, who is Simon Pegg's
Gary
character.
King.
Gary King. His favourite character he's ever played, apparently. Yeah. It's his favourite he's ever done.
And he gets the guys taking the piss out of him. And he ends up going to the toilet. And he gets in a row, gets into a fight with those teenagers, and he breaks one of their heads. And he realises...
it pops off because he hits it on the urinal.
What the fuck? So, of course, when he comes out, the others don't believe him. And of course, then they start realizing that they've all the people in the village have been taken over by this entity. And then was it one of them? I think one of them goes into a shop or something, and the guy doesn't recognize him, and he should because of something that happened earlier in the past. And he says, "Well, actually, that's quite funny because I saw so and so earlier, and he didn't remember me." Mm. So there's little things like that. But I just think it's quite funny. And as the 3 films go, it's the weaker of the 3. But I've always liked it.
I always felt
do you know what? I prefer that more to Hot Fuzz. I think Hot Fuzz is my least favourite out of the trilogy. Like I said, World's End was one of those ones I wasn't too sure about the first time I watched it. Yeah. But the more I watch it, like I said, I just look into the characters more, and I kind of see myself in it because I would like to get back with some old mates of mine I don't think I'll ever see again. My old clubbing days and stuff would be frigging awesome, and I'm kind of gutted because Gary gets to do that. I don't. Yeah, I'm still in touch with him, but I'll never get to do stuff like that.
You're not focusing on the invasion of aliens.
I know I'm not, but I love that build up, and then all of a sudden it's like it's a totally different movie where it's like, now we've got aliens in this now.
Yeah, but you knew it was going to be that because it's a Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright.
Yes, I know, but
and then it's got that fantastic bit where they're fighting. He's arguing with the entity, and it's like humans need to be ordered to join the galactic, civilization. He's like, no, we fucking don't. Fuck off. So English humor.
Bill Nye, isn't it? Yeah.
And he's like, so what? You want to be left alone and never brought into the, into the galactic civilization? Yeah. We want to do our own thing.
That's it, yeah.
because we're stubborn humans. And then it's got one of my favourite bits from the whole trilogy. At the end of that, you know when like Nick Frost's character is sort of narrating the post-apocalyptic sort of
at the end
when they completely disconnect the aliens, leave us alone, and the internet goes down and power goes down and stuff. And he's like, and you know what? Well, once it had happened, we realised that there wasn't really anything from the past that we actually missed. And then Cornetto rapper flaps up against the chain link fence, and he does the best bit of acting in the whole thing, where he's just like
tries to go for it, and
just over the top of that, it just made me laugh so hard, because that's a shout out. Did you know?
Did you know?
I forgot the secret hand signal.
Damn it! I forgot me. Sorry, big one. Did you know?
It's going to be a really weak. Did you know? Because
it doesn't matter.
It's linked into the Cornetto trilogy, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So that's the third Cornetto from the appearance of the third.
And it's weird
Cornetto.
because I was like, I remember watching it for the first time. I was like, we haven't got a Cornetto thing yet.
Yeah,
and then what? And then what was there?
And it's delivered over that line at the same moment as, and there was nothing from the past that we really missed.
And then the rapper comes up.
I'm a bit annoyed you put it on this list.
Why?
It's not a guilty pleasure.
It is for
pleasure.
me. It is for me.
I think what he's trying to get is the fact that a lot of people don't like this out of the trilogy. They think it's the weakest. I think that's what John's trying to get out of that.
I think no, because I remember when I first saw it. I think I said to Ant, "Oh, I saw this film. I think it's really, really good." And he went, "Are you fucking joking?" Because I don't think he quite got it. But then he's watched it since, and now he likes it. But I remember he said, "Seriously?" And he was like looking at me, he's like, "Really?"
That's when Ant watched it again and put himself as Ant King.
Yeah.
Going on his bender
Ant King.
to complete the Gold Mile.
The Golden Mile. I wouldn't mind giving that a go, you know. Yeah. But I don't think I could do 12 pints.
I was going to say 12 pints.
What? Yeah. Not at my age now.
No.
Not anymore.
No, this 40-year-old couldn't hack 12 pints. Probably can't even get past one now.
You get a headache and need to go home after.
That's it, pints. I don't know. Maybe I'll just get some chips, sober up a bit. Maybe get another 2 in.
Yeah.
That's it.
A burger and another 3 or 4 pints.
Then go get kebab or some fried chicken.
It's got to be done, isn't it?
But then because of the age, you'd be like, oh, that's not working on my digestion. That's it. Now I'm pining for those days, the glory clubbing days when you can eat whatever.
When you said that, I was actually reminiscing as well. Yeah, that'd be good.
But it's kind of weird because when I actually DJ and I look at all these drunk twats on the dance floor, I'm like, they used to be me.
Yeah.
What a prick.
Does it make you feel old? Do they all look
it does,
12?
man. Big time.
Big time. Oh, that's the reason I'm never going in a club again.
That's why I can't do it now, even if I went with my mates now.
Who are you here to pick up? That's what I imagine they'll say when I walk in.
I kid you not, there's some woman, because I DJ in Folkestone, I know no one there, I'm a stranger there. Yeah. Some woman come up to me in a bar and is like, "Are you Paul's dad?" And I was like, no. Do I look that old? Yeah.
You should have been like, yeah, can you tell him to come home?
Yeah. So he's grounded, go home.
Yeah. Oh, man.
No bullshit. But hey, I see where you're coming from, John, but yeah, World's End, I liked it more than I definitely did first time, yeah.
Well, I love that movie and I just like talking about it, so thank you, John.
That's a problem.
Nice. Number 3? That was number 3, wasn't it?
That was number 3.
Let me just quickly check. My number 3. Yes, my number 3. Let's go back to...
Oh, here we go again.
Let's go back to 1994.
Can I go first? Right. Can I go first?
Do you want to go first?
No, you go.
No, go on.
Go on, you go.
Go on, have it. Do you want it?
No, you take it, man.
Right, 1994, everyone.
Are you clashing then?
No, and let's face it, everyone knows me. Like, this podcast is kind of based on it as well, where we talk about video games.
Yep.
I used to collect video game magazines every month for every console, and every time
the PC ones,
and every time this was before the internet, where you got to find out a certain film was coming out, and you'd see pictures of this and that. And then it came out finally in March of 1994. Street Fighter the movie.
Oh wow!
Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile and Raul Julia as M. Bison. Good God, I love this movie. It's brilliant.
Who is Cammy? Who's Cammy?
Kylie Minogue.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Why do I like this movie?
Was in that.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know she was in it. Yeah.
I'll explain one in a sec.
Okay.
But yeah, I was so looking forward to this, and then it obviously wasn't everyone's taste because it's trying to represent the game as much.
Film.
I really liked it, man.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
I was 12 when this movie came out, okay? And I was big into Street Fighter. I was big into action movies, and this was just right up my alley. And everyone's like, Blanca looks like this. And I was like, well, It wasn't going to be like the video game, was it? It's a 12 rated movie. You can only do so much in the 12 rated movie before it goes to 15, and kids can't go see it then, can they? But this was so fucking huge when they came out, man. And if you're like really into the games, you can see little snippets from the games that are actually in it. Like sometimes they actually do moves from the game that are actually in the movie. Like E Honda does his 100-hand slap, or Vega does his roll and stab. Or if you look very closely, Ryu does his fireball, but it's not a fireball. It's kind of like a flash. You don't really see it, sort of thing. There's so many little snippets in it. Was that on
budget as well in that film?
Again, it was all because of budget. The reason why Kylie Minogue is in it, because they were meant to shoot in Thailand, and then something happened in Thailand. I can't remember what the situation was, but they had to shoot in Australia in the end. And Australia said, look, we'll let you film in it if you put an Australian actor into it. And obviously Kylie Minogue was big at the time, so they threw her in as Cammy, very last minute. She was fair. I just love hearing more about this film nowadays. Like I was watching a documentary recently about this, and I didn't realise that whilst filming this, that Jean-Claude Van Damme was coked out of his head through most of shooting. Yeah. I mean, he couldn't really...
He was the main lead, isn't it?
He was Guile at the same time, and it's just like... But yeah, and then obviously Raul Julia died not long after. He had cancer whilst making this movie. He only was going to play M. Bison because his kids loved Street Fighter at the time. Right. And then literally died before the movie even got premiered. Oh, shit. There are some brilliant one-liners in this film, like especially from M. Bison. Like he's got Chung-Li as captured, right? And he says to like the day M. Bison, took over your village and killed your father, may have been the saddest day of your life. And he goes, but for me, it was Tuesday. So just so kick-ass, man. I mean, there's even a part where Guile does his, he has a sonic boom, but he does the other one where he does that flip kick. And that's in the movie and everything. Oh, man, it was just so good.
It made sense to have Van Damme as him.
Yeah, it's cheesy as fuck. It's brilliant. It's just everything I want from it. It wasn't going to be like, I mean, we had the anime movie that fixed everything in the end of the day, which was straight up the video game. Yeah. But as an action movie, you can't deny this is a hell of a lot of fun, man. It's
as a Street Fighter fan, it's
entertaining, it's cheesy, it's fun, it's got action, it's got fighting in it, it's got explosions in it. It was everything I wanted for a 12-year-old to love. And it's just one of those films I've constantly watched, and it was the first video game movie I got to watch. Because we never got to have Mortal Kombat in our cinema. Our cinema was too small at the time. So I had to wait for Mortal Kombat for video. Plus, that was a 15, so I couldn't see that at cinema either. Just, mate, I can't deny it. I love it. I don't care how shitty Blanca looks. Challenge me. I love Street Fighter, the movie. That's why it's on my top 5.
Yay. Nice one. I appreciate that one.
Yeah. Nice. Number 3, sir.
My number 3 is another movie that probably no one's heard of. It's called Doomsday.
I've heard of it.
Have you?
Yes, Neil Marshall's movie.
I don't know. I was just thinking of looking up who's in the cast, because it has Malcolm McDowell in it.
Yes, it is, and Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins.
Yes, it is. It's Neil Marshall's film.
Do you actually know what happens?
Yeah, it's kind of like Mad Max in the end, isn't it? Really,
a little bit. Yeah,
it's a disease.
Yeah. So, the reason I've picked this as a guilty pleasure again is because it's so like schlocky in places as an action sci-fi apocalypse style thing, but. And again, not really liked widely, but I really like it.
I love it. I love Neil Marshall though, but unfortunately he made Hair Boys in 2019 as well. Though is the thing.
But with this one, because at least G hasn't seen it or ever heard of it.
No, it's on Netflix. If you want to give it a go.
It's Scotland again. I don't know why I'm picking so many Scotland. But basically, there's some disease or virus or something, and it's affecting. It's like outbreak in Scotland. So what's the sensible thing to do? Build a fucking wall around Scotland.
Build that wall. Yeah. Build that wall.
They literally, like, I'm not kidding. What is it? They build a wall around Scotland. Leave all the people in there.
A bloody massive one. Well,
yeah, big fucking Game of Thrones style metal one. And they shoot anyone who comes near it to try and contain the virus. This is before coronavirus.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe we'd have survived. Yeah, we'd have done that. Walled off Wuhan.
Build that wall.
Is that what they're saying?
Walled off the flipping UK.
No, that's the famous Trump line, isn't it? Because he was going to build it around Mexico. He's like, build that wall.
So they effectively do a Trump in this and wall off Scotland.
Scotland.
Yeah, and they've got like gun turrets to shoot anyone who gets near it.
Yeah.
And
but they sneak in, don't they?
the main character is a lady. I've just had to look up her name because she's so forgettable and laughable.
Oh, isn't it?
The actress is someone called Rona Mitra.
Rona Mitra. She was the first ever Lady Croft.
And
Lara Croft.
She was in one of the Underworld films.
She's in Underworld 3.
Only because I'm looking at a picture of her,
Yeah.
and she looks so much like Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah. Rona Mitra.
Doesn't she look like Kate
Rona
Beckinsale?
Mitra's fit, man.
Yeah.
She is.
She looks like Kate Beckinsale, doesn't she? That's
and
probably why
she's a nip tuck as well.
Anyway,
she's also in Hollow Man. She gets raped by
the remake.
No, the first one
original,
by Kevin Bacon.
But yeah, she plays like an agent, like hard as bitten action hero.
Yeah, she's cool in that movie.
Called Eden Sinclair, which is such a cheesy name.
It's typical Neil Marshall, man.
It's a good film.
And Bob Hoskins is like, we need to get. I can't remember what it is. I think they need to evacuate someone's daughter or something.
You've got to do it in the Bob. We need to fucking evacuate.
You need to get in there.
I sound like Malcolm McDowell more than Bob there.
They need to go and evac someone out of the dark zone. Because like it went quiet in there, and then when the fires all died down, and they don't know what's happened, but there are still people alive in there.
So so this virus just makes people go crazy or something, is it?
I can't remember what it is. Basically, they have to wall them off. That's the gist of it. And the people that they think people have survived in there, so they're a little bit worried. Once everything's the fires died down.
Does a helicopter crash?
Do you remember how New York looked like in Escape from New York?
Yes.
That's essentially what the plague area looks like now. So it's full of people that have survived it or part of it. People survived it, and they look like punks and
I was
Mad Max looking people. Sorry, go on.
So yeah, she's I'm not kidding. She's got a fake eye that's like a little robot gadget eye that she could take out and like hold round corners to look at stuff. I was like, that's cheesy, man, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's so cheesy.
It's so awesome.
She rolls it around and it can see and stuff like that. I'll just pop my eye out. Cool. And anyway, her and a crack team of Expendables go in like some armoured, cool-looking cars, enter the dark zone, and basically are trying to make contact and do it. It all obviously goes to shit straight away, and this is where the Mad Max bit, which I really like because it is a bit Mad Max, isn't it?
Big time.
And it is so good. They get captured by some sort of gang of like punky motorbike riding showman over the top things.
Like scavengers, if you will.
Scavengers, like very cliched. Pick any game with like Borderlands,
Mad Max or
something like
Borderlands,
that, and then there's it's fronted by some charismatic man, and he's got a tattooed woman.
She's cool, man. There's a shot with her,
cool,
and she does that thing with her tongue. It's like that's a wicked shot.
And they one of the guys gets captured, and they just have a massive party while they roast him.
Sean Pertwee, Sean Pertwee, it is,
he's getting roasted over a fire. They're going to cook him and eat him.
Yeah,
Sean Pertwee is the guy who has his guts coming out in Dog Soldiers, which is the same director.
Neil Marshall.
So they have this big end of the world like cannibal party where they cook him over.
Tommy, he must be saying something British. Oh, you fuckers!
Typical Sean Pertwee.
And then and it's basically it's been done so many times.
I hope
so
I give you the
cheesy.
shit.
There's a great car chase at the end as well, like proper Mad Max style.
Yeah, like John says, he says, "I hope I give you the shits" or something. Yeah. Oh no, was that Dog Soldiers?
That's Dog Soldiers. He says that. Yeah,
I knew he did say it at some point. Yeah,
and then bizarrely it goes from that complete tonal shift to Malcolm McDowell's thing, and he's in a castle, one of the Scottish castles.
Weird that is.
As a weird like feudal lord, he's set up like a medieval style civilization where he's like the lord. So they end up going there and having some like pit battle against one of his soldiers.
Doesn't she have to go like against a knight in armor and all that? Something like that.
It's such a weird like.
It's the most weirdest part of the film. It's like it doesn't fit in there. It feels weird.
This is what I'm saying. All the parts are either done before or done better elsewhere. Or it's so cheesy.
Or they had something shot. They thought, let's just use this.
But I don't know
why. They could have just carried on with the whole Doomsday, Mad Max thing, and then they throw in this weird medieval part. I don't think it needed to be.
Is that where it ends, though?
No. Well, no, they then escape and they get the whatever
car chase at the end.
Yeah, they have a chase and they basically have to escape out the thing. I don't know why. I just really like it.
I've watched.
I forgot about that movie,
but I really like it. It's a good no-brainer.
Yeah,
because you can't watch it with be too critical because otherwise you laugh at it too much.
It's a cheesy Saturday night movie, isn't it? Sort of thing. Yeah, I remember seeing that at cinema. It's a good call.
And it's so disjointed. There's so many different bits that have obviously been sort of inspired by other things, like 28 Days Later, Mad Max,
big time, things
like that. And they've
Mad Max is heavily influenced on this. Big time.
Bits and pieces, a bit of Resident Evil almost in some respects, and they're just like picking it and making it into a hodgepodge, which kind of works for me. But like I say, I'm surprised anyone has actually watched it.
That's all right.
I've watched it.
Definitely.
Doomsday.
I'll check it out.
Check it out. Let's go to number 2s.
Number 2.
Closing it in, sir. Number 2.
Right. My number 2 is it's from a famous franchise. I'm going to go with the third one because I've talked about the second one before, and it's Jurassic Park.
3.
3, yeah.
Oh, okay.
2 I would have put in, but I think I've spoken about
2 is your favourite sequel, isn't it?
Yeah. But yes, it is.
It was your sequel you love, but everyone hates.
So 3, I thought it's probably the worst out of the weakest out of the 3, but I still fucking love it.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
It's not.
I like it.
Press the button.
For fuck's sake. You got to warm in this, guys.
I like it.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
For that.
Why?
You're going to have to redo that, aren't you?
What's that?
Okay.
Yeah, I think because there was a big gap between the 2 and 3. I think we were.
There was a 4-year gap.
Yeah, because I remember waiting for it. And I was like,
it's 3 and 4 that are the longest.
Yeah, and I remember seeing the trailer for it the first time, and it was just Jurassic Park, and it just like 3 claws.
Yeah,
and
3
like,
claws.
Dude, do you remember the tagline for that trailer was so good?
What was the tagline?
It's not just a walk in the park.
Oh, yeah. Because what I loved about it was I think he had more sort of, well, I wouldn't say more, but there's dinosaurs that you haven't seen.
Yeah.
And
it was pushing the Spinosaurus, wasn't it? Spinosaurus was the next big thing because
I was kind of
they wanted the T-Rex out of it, didn't they?
Yeah.
So
because I was kind of disappointed.
Well, everyone's seen the T-Rex, haven't they? So they've got to come up with something different, bigger.
But they tried it, and it worked for that film. But everyone's a T-Rex fan in the end. It's the issue.
Hence why.
That's why the T-Rex saves the day.
The reboot, one worked really well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But anyway, I think everyone's familiar with the story that Dr. Grant gets tricked into going back, and the opening was like I still like it, where there's the kid and the father. Or
yeah.
And they're like,
it's a good reason for them to go back, wasn't it? Yeah.
It wasn't like, we're not going to land, we're just going to hover around, just to basically tricking them as like they're like really good, well-off people, and he gets tricked into going to the island, and they eventually land. And my God, when you see that Spinosaurus just standing there, like, I was like, what? They're going in straight away. That was crazy. And then they chase them out.
It literally is non-stop as soon as they get to the island. It's non-stop.
From that moment to the, I think there's a breathing point after the kid steals the egg. I think there's like a little, just a small.
It's a small little bit, isn't it? Yeah.
And then when because all you're waiting.
Then the raptors attack.
Yeah, that's that's what you're waiting for after that. You're like, we're the raptors, and they, that shot where it's just like it's pretending to be like a model.
Yeah, it's in the I think it's in the globe thing. Yeah, that's wicked.
And it blinks, and you're what? And it starts.
Its eye moves. Yeah, man, it's creepy as fuck.
And they start communicating this one. I love the call.
There's some great one-liners in that film, like as well. Like I think Tia Leone's character is like, "Oh, this is how you make dinosaurs." Alan Grant's like, "No, this is how you play God."
Yeah,
it's kick-ass, man.
So good.
But you got to talk about the scene, right? Are you going to talk about it?
Which one?
The birdcage scene. Come on, that is kick-ass.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant scene.
When they're walking down the bridge, and it's all of a sudden it's all misty. Yeah, like
you don't know it's a birdcage, and you look up and you see it, and then Alan's like, "Oh my God!"
Those things are freaky, and the way they stand up, and it's just like this, and then there's one just standing there on the bridge.
Yeah.
Is that the scene you're talking about?
Yeah.
That was quite.
It's so cool. It's a brilliant scene. But there's one shot in that specifically where one of the blokes is getting attacked on the river.
Yeah.
And you're focused on it. The camera pans and follows him down the river.
I know what you're talking about.
And then in the foreground, you've got one of those things that turns around and looks straight dead at the camera. It's like, fuck, I never even saw that because I'm looking at this guy getting mullered.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I don't give a shit about pterodactyls, but as a birdcage scene, it's kick-ass.
Awesome.
Honestly,
and
man.
they leave
I can't say kick ass anymore in this sentence. It's brilliant.
And they leave the door open at the end.
Maybe one, maybe two pop out. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know why people don't like it. I think it was. I could tell you as a fan, it's the weaker, but it's still.
I still
awesome,
enjoyed
man.
it. Yeah, I mean,
Like,
I'm still gutted this very short film as well. It's like an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. It's really
that's
short.
The only thing
I didn't realise it was that short. Bloody hell!
Because I remember at the time I had to watch it pirate. Because
of course you did. Piracy sponsors terrorism.
But I'll just even that, like, the quality I was watching, I was like, this is so good. I was like, oh, what more? I must have watched it 3-4 times the copy I had. So
I remember the trailer, like you say, and then all of a sudden you just the claws flash and goes, free. Yeah.
But I didn't did they show the Spinosaurus in the trailer? At all? Because I was like surprised they got the Spinosaurus in there for some reason.
I think you do see a few flashes of it, but not as much as.
Oh, and the water scene when the Spinosaurus
at the end,
yeah, that was awesome.
And the thing I love about that scene is that like you can tell that's an animatronic in that water at the time. And you think how in the first, when they made the first movie, they couldn't even do that because it would shake and it would really. So that, and how technology has gone from that.
So they actually had that thing swimming. Well,
you watch it; it's all if you. There's a camera trick to it. So if you ever see like a dinosaur with only like a good half of the body in it, that's an animatronic. That makes sense. If you see a body with a head in there and whatnot, and it's covered at the bottom, it's usually an animatronic, which a lot of that scene is.
You sure it's just not guy with a snorkel?
Or guy with a snorkel, maybe. Who knows? Nice.
Even the fight of T-Rex and Spinosaurus, that was pretty.
That's all CGI. You can tell that is.
That was cool.
So I was kind of like when that happened and he snaps the T-Rex's neck. I'm like. Oh,
I was disappointed.
I was like, "What?"
I thought he was going to give him.
But it's a good now because it's like I'm the new guy. Here I am.
Yeah, but
acknowledge me.
Well, technically, like apparently, Tyrannosaurus are like basically scavengers, but the Spinosaurus are actual like an animal. That's why I think that's why they went with that choice. But everyone loves a T-Rex, so I think that's why I was a bit disappointed with that.
I think like a couple of years before that movie had started, they'd only just discovered the Spinosaurus as well.
Oh, really?
So that's why I think they sort of included it into it as well.
Oh.
But yeah, I could talk about Jurassic Park 3 for ages.
Even where the T-Rex surround them at the Velociraptors. I thought they were going to get.
Do you know what really got me in that film? And it wasn't even the dinosaurs. It's the part when you find out that Ellie and Alan never got together.
Yeah,
like she moved on with another guy. And was like, what a fucking bitch!
They do that in all sorts of like most of these films. You're like,
mate, I feel so sorry for him.
Why do they like split up? They have they make the first sort of film they're together, and not just this film. I can't. Think from my head, but there's most movies you think they get together and then they split up, and it's like very like sad. But obviously, like at the end, it kind of works because she kind of still kind of likes.
But still, as the characters, I kind of love from the first movie because I obviously love the first movie.
Yeah. Is it a case of getting the actors involved and that they don't want to be involved?
Maybe who knows? I mean. Well, they got together in number 6, so I'm not too. Yes, it's not too bad now.
More weaker than this one, but anyway, what was your thought on when the kid stole the Velociraptor? I was like, "Fucking idiot! Don't he know better? Come on!" You know when he takes the egg,
takes the egg. Yeah.
I was just like, I was so annoyed with that, man. It's like, what dumbass.
So was Alan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know better than the people that built this place.
Yeah. And did you know it's not people?
Sake.
Sorry. I think they say it in the film, but I just want to say it. It's not the same park; it's another park.
It's the same park from number 2,
but it's a different place of the park.
Okay,
yeah. They said, I'm sorry. I wanted to. Did you know?
That's fine, mate. Fine. Got it in there. John, number 2, sir.
Let's get it over with.
Just say it, man. Don't be worried. Don't worry about it.
You know, it's Hellboy 2019.
Is it really?
What a piece of shit.
2 or 3 times you've slated it. I thought, fucking wait till I fucking get to it then. Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's another Neil Marshall movie. Go for it, sir.
Yeah.
Why did you like it?
I didn't like the way that Neil Marshall done it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like Hellboy as a character, so I saw a new film coming.
It's one of those ones where it's not typical Neil Marshall. I think a lot of the studio got involved in I think it was just a paycheck for a million days. Like they're like, film this way for us.
Yeah, I think so.
Get it over with.
It's not typical Neil Marshall. It's Hellboy, and I'm a sucker for Hellboy. Anything,
but it's not Ron Perlman Hellboy, is it?
It's David Harbour. Some Stranger Things. I don't know why. I think Ron Perlman wouldn't go back because was it Benicio del Toro or Guillermo del Toro?
And I think he's like too old for it now. It was
like,
I'm too old for the makeup now and stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that was why he didn't go back. So they got David Harbour because he was the next best thing because of Stranger Things. He doesn't do a bad Hellboy, to be fair.
No, I don't think he did a bad job as Hellboy.
But I preferred the two before, so... the story wasn't bad.
I think for me it was like when they threw in the whole King Arthur and he was a son of King Arthur or something like that. I can't remember the movie now. He was related to him or something. There's a bloodline part of it. I was just like, okay, now it's not even in comic book territory now. It's just like, let's make this up to make it different from the other movies.
It was starting to get a bit silly, but I enjoyed watching it, and not a lot of other people do, so it had to be in my list. Really.
Yeah, so we saw it, and then there was like, I was actually enjoying it. There's good bits in it, and then there was a part where they accidentally shoot Hellboy, and he's like, hey, I'm on your side. And then the cop goes, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, that was just, that didn't need to be in it. That was just stupid.
Brings your piss to a boil.
Stupid.
It's my Ron Silverman face.
Yeah. No, I mean... I think I meant...
Ron Swanson face.
I went to the cinema to see that, and when that happened, I was like, seriously? That didn't need to be in there. That just made them...
There's a good bit. It's quite gory. It's gory than the other ones as well. So
but that just made a mockery of the film.
Like you said, I think they ran out. It felt like for me when I was
run out of ideas.
Run out of ideas and just do what you want.
I thought it was quite good with the giants, and they obviously they cut up the witch. The whole story is about this witch, and she spreads this virus. So King Arthur,
Mila Jovovich, isn't it?
Yeah.
And to be honest,
so King Arthur basically cuts her into pieces and has all the bits, hidden around around England, and they're all hidden in these big boxes and stuff.
Because I remember
it was good.
Butt ends up in Crawley.
When it
butt ends up in Crawley. Shithole.
When it was announced,
end of whatever.
We were like really looking forward to it. Because then I found out the guy from Stranger Things. I was like, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And we were like proper excited.
Well, I just got excited because Neil Marshall was doing it. Because I like Neil Marshall.
Yeah.
We've said it a few times on it. Yeah. But I mean, it's okay. It has some good shots in it. Some good visionary in it. But it's just the fact that I think because the Hellboy franchise was from Columbia TriStar, Sony owned it, and then it got bought up by Universal. So Universal thought we'll try it without. We'll do it our way and see if we get anything. And unfortunately, it didn't. It surpassed the other two movies.
The reason I read that Ron Perlman wouldn't do it is because Guillermo del Toro wasn't involved in it.
Yeah, that was one of them as well.
He didn't want to come back, so he said, well, I'm not doing it without him. So that's why they ended up getting David Harbour.
Well, no, because at the time, Guillermo del Toro was signed to do The Hobbit originally. That's why he never went back to Hellboy. And obviously that didn't fall through in the end. Peter Jackson took over in the end. So,
and then when I was reading about the film, the new Hellboy, and it wasn't going to be Ron Perlman, I was like, really? Who are they going to get to do it? And then you see that it's David Harbour, and you actually see him done up as Hellboy. And I thought, actually, he looks
nothing against him. He was good as Hellboy. Just the film itself was a bit meh.
Yeah. There was various bits in the film they could have just dropped it out of it, to be honest with you. And it probably would have made it a better film, but anyway. Yeah,
that's your pick, mate. It's fine.
I
kind of feel bad. I kept slamming it. Pretty upset. I didn't actually think it'd be on there.
That's the whole point of it.
I thought you were going to audible mention it, but no. If you like it, mate, that's it. Good on you.
I've got it in my collection. I bought it.
There we go.
No, you didn't.
Do you know what? I might need to watch it one more time. I might like it a second time.
Yeah.
No. Who knows? I just want to watch movies with my friends. Anyway, is there anything else on that? On Hellboy 2019? No. Right. My number 2. You've kind of sort of already taken it. But I can't really pick a specific film, so I'm going with like the franchise, if you will. I'm not sure it's a franchise, but my number 2 guilty pleasure movies are shark movies. Anything with a shark in it, I fucking love. I love shark movies. 47 Meters Down, Jaws, Sharknado, The Shallows, The Meg 2's out this year. Bring it on! I love shark movies. Again, because I'm just a massive Jaws fan. And I just find them. So me and my sister kind of had this thing with the shark films. Like every time a new one's out, like we're gonna go watch this, or we're gonna watch this, we're gonna do this, whatnot. I just love them, man. I mean, I kind of it's kind of because I got a fear of the water with all being with sharks in and all that sort of stuff.
I was just waiting to ask that. How's your view on real sharks?
That's it.
Are you terrified of it?
I mean, I've never been. I mean, it's in
no. But is it the fear of?
I think it's
Does that push a button for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the sharks. I think it's the water itself. It's like being submerged and then
not
being
seeing something underneath.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like that, if you will. I've always wanted to do like a shark cage thing.
I was going to say,
just as an experience.
Yeah.
I would like. It's like a bucket list thing I love to do. But I just think as the situation alone, like you said, Dave, it's like I can't stand things where I don't know if anything's coming for me, and you look down and something just swims up and nabs you. It must be such a terrifying feeling to know that, or I could get eaten. I'm in its territory now. It could take me any time. And there's literally a scene in 47 Meters Down 2 where they've got there's blind sharks in it, and they're all around this pool, and all of a sudden it just comes up and just takes. Jesus fucking Christ, man!
That's a good film.
Shake it, man. Seriously.
But go on, Carol.
No, go.
I was just gonna say I almost got to swim with sharks once.
Did you?
Wow.
Really?
In Australia, yeah.
Is there anything you haven't done, sir?
Yeah, there's loads of stuff.
Jeez.
But no, like we were just about to leave the reef. We'd been diving on it.
Yeah.
And like about 6 reef sharks. So not, like
not
about
huge things,
3
but
or 4 foot, but not dangerous to humans, turned up and started swimming around the boat.
Wow.
So they stopped the boat and they were like, seriously, guys, you can get in with these sharks in the Australian accent. Yeah, seriously, guys, these are fine. Jump in.
Jump in, man.
Crikey, look at her. She's a lovely looking Sheila.
Actually,
You only take your leg
they
off.
said, don't jump in, climb in slowly, because if you jump in the water with a splash, it will scare them off.
Right, okay.
And Sarah, my wife, just looked at me with the biggest eye roll ever and went, oh, go on then. But I got to the back of the ladder on the back of the boat too late. I got behind a stupid Australian woman in a pink, like one
And if you're listening,
suit thing. She's an Australian, man. She's asleep. And, and she spent, I'm not kidding, about 10 minutes hovering on the ladder going, and then they swam off.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Man, that would have been such an experience.
We should do it. Let's go somewhere.
I want to do it, yeah.
Let's swim with sharks.
Let's all go to Australia and promote M.T.V.B.
Road trip.
Swimming with
road
sharks.
trip.
Promo trip.
But I tell you what, let's start a Patreon for M.T.V.B. It'll fund our shark cage trip.
We'll video it because it'll be a good...
Oh, yeah, it has to be, man.
now,
Again, it's been on my bucket list ever since I saw Jaws.
Plus, listeners, you'll get to see Ant in Speedos.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is probably even more terrifying than the situation would be.
Make a promise now, if they do fund it, then you have to wear...
Go fund it, I'll wear Speedos. They'll find this episode 40 years later and they'll be like, oh, I'm going to fund it. This is old man in Speedos.
Oh, dear.
But yeah.
But you still get to watch Swim with Sharks.
Is it? It's still Swim with Sharks.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, I can't deny it. You say, Ant, let's go see a shark movie. I am fucking there. 100%. I own a shitload of these shark movies. I don't own all of the Sharknadoes. I really do need to. But I've just found out that at the time we're recording this movie, that the man who made The Room has finally made another movie, and it's about a big fucking shark. Bring it on. I can't wait. It's going to be so shit. Yeah. I can't wait to watch it.
It doesn't matter, does it? Yeah.
It doesn't matter, though.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That's it. My number 2.
Who doesn't
Short
like,
sweet.
was it like sharks, though? Who
Come on,
doesn't like
come on.
sharks?
I know you said the franchise, sorry, but was it deep? Did I take your number 2?
So Deep Blue Sea's is a shark movie, isn't it? So that's why I was like, you've kind of mentioned it already. Deep Blue Sea I fucking love. And I wasn't going to jump in because, again, I've picked all shark movies. I just love all shark films.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's lucky Gokul's not here, because there was me looking, oh, look, you've got almost swum with sharks. He'd have been sitting...
He would have been like...
actually, guys, when I was in Costa Rica, or Madagascar...
I actually gave me a blowjob.
Yeah, I
mean, it's like he's actually here. Gokul, you've done that really well.
Gokul, we love you, really.
Oh, I love Gokul. Come back, Gokul.
He doesn't listen to this fucking show. He likes to be in it. He doesn't listen to it.
He must listen to it. He's probably travelling somewhere listening to it.
Yeah, that's true.
On a plane or something.
So yeah, because he's probably like listening to it going, oh, I done that.
They're talking about me.
Go on, Dave. Number 2.
Number 2, the Trolls movie.
No way, really?
Shut up.
No,
You're winding us up.
No, I'm not.
Oh,
I fucking love this
As
movie.
in the kids one?
Yes.
Yeah. Right, okay, yeah.
As in the colourful...
Yeah.
Like
the colourful hair.
The Bergens are coming.
There was a troll movie as
a
live action one.
No, the kids one. The kids, not the horror one. The actual kids one.
No, the animated, colourful Trolls movie. I can't understand, because obviously we're all dads here, aren't we?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. That's how I got to it.
And you know, the three of us have got young kids at the moment. So obviously I was watching this with my eldest. And she loved it and went through that phase of like, I really want to watch it. And any parent sitting at home listening to me right now is going to feel this. Oh, another fucking kids movie I've got to sit and watch. And I watched the Trolls movie, and I genuinely enjoyed it.
It is, it's fun, man.
I loved that Trolls movie, and it's on this list as a guilty pleasure because it probably did quite well. I haven't looked into the figures on it because there's obviously lots of, kids will have watched it and things like that. But it's a guilty pleasure for me because of the reaction you guys just gave. Which is, what are you having us on?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to say it. I'm going to own it.
It's fine, mate.
Dave, the Rave, love the Trolls movie.
Did you like the sequel?
Not as much, but I did like it. Metal!
Yeah.
Even though Rock was the bad guys.
Yeah. And Ozzy Osbourne's the dad, isn't he?
Yeah. So good.
Brilliant.
I haven't seen that.
It's got such a great soundtrack, those films, man. I love those films.
There's just little scenes in it, like there's a random character that's just a cloud with socks. He's really...
High five.
High five. And it just leaves them. There's so many little jokes in there for adults.
For adults as well,
which is what a good kids movie should do. It should have the kids entertained and enraptured, and then it should have something in there for the adults who...
There's still things when I go back, because my kids still watch it now, I mean, there's things I go back and never realised when I watched it first time. So, I mentioned, the Bergens are coming. It's always that bloke on the clown. He knocks over like his tray or he pushes him aside. The Bergens are going, he keeps going, the Bergens are coming. Then the very last Bergens are coming. He's at his funeral, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he knocks the coffin over and the clown's in the coffin. It's like, I never even noticed that. It's so good.
There's a scene in that, where she's... Because it's quite musical, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Where they're just singing... They're in like a dark forest, and they're just singing like, hello, darkness, my old friend. And then all of the random weird creatures, like the tree comes alive behind, and the little hump of grass behind goes, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, just tickles me. And I liked it.
There's some great one-liners. There's like another one where, I think Branch says, I was being sarcastic or sarcasm or something, and the other guy goes, I had a sarcasm once.
And I love, what's his name? The little bean that James Corden carries around, Mr. Something.
Mr. Tinkles.
Mr. Tinkles. There's one bit where he goes, and I love this, and I don't know whether it was intended. I think, is this in the first or the second one? Anyway, I'm going to talk about it, whichever movie it's in, because it reminds me of Monty Python.
Okay.
Right? The animation they used to do where like the clouds would go,
that's right,
boom, and then there'd be like a god.
That's right.
Like an arch drawn or a foot above. Yeah. And at one point, Mr. Tinkles drowns, and he sees like, come with me, like a big god.
That's the sequel, version. Yeah.
It's a sequel, but it's just great. I'm going to include it anyway.
They go on.
And there's a god, Mr. Tinkles, in the clouds, and he's like going towards it, and then he gets revived and has to come back down. He's just like, meow.
I thought he was going to do the part that goes, oh snap. I thought that's the bit you were going to do.
No, there's so much for it.
Brilliant, mate.
And we all like to be serious and we like our sci-fi and our horror and bloody blur, but there is a place in everyone's heart for a good kids movie. And this isn't one that I watched when I was a kid. This is one I watched as a fully grown adult with my children. They loved it. I loved it. And then, you get that, can we watch it again? I was like, yeah, I'll put it on. Let's watch it back to back again.
Yeah, I mean, I used to...
Did you watch the holiday special?
Yeah, I did, but not as many times. I don't know why my daughter didn't like that one as much, but she...
Yeah, there's a great soundtrack of that one as well. It's brilliant. Sorry, John, you were saying?
Just saying, I mean, there's some fantastic kids' films. It's like we said before about Toy Story and stuff, but there are other films besides them. I mean, my daughter used to like Matilda.
Oh, Matilda's wicked.
And Coraline.
My daughter loves Coraline. Coraline's good.
There's some really good films. I mean, I enjoy watching those. I've never seen the Trolls movie, but if my daughter wanted to watch it, I would have seen it, and I probably would have liked it as well. But yeah.
You should watch it. It's got a good soundtrack.
I may well do.
I might have to put that on for them.
I think as grown adults...
Have your kids not seen it?
No.
Dude, they'd love it. Yeah.
Your kids are young enough that they would enjoy it,
Yeah. It's so colourful as well. Yeah. So good.
Okay.
Good shout.
Yeah, very good.
Right, let's go to the final ones.
It's number one.
Number one, the last number ones of season 6. Go on, Gal, start us off well.
Right. So... I think this is...
here we go.
I think this is not well received. So I'm going on that basis.
I'm not going to Google
my
it.
number one is Tremors.
Okay, yeah.
The first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I wrong in saying that it's a guilty pleasure?
I haven't seen it for years.
No one liked it.
I don't know.
If you guys don't like it, then
I love it.
Oh, I love
but
it.
I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd class it as a guilty pleasure.
I've only watched it once.
Well, I researched and apparently it's not that great.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm gonna.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tremors is a great movie for me. The Kevin
good.
Bacon one, right?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, this is. I watched this when I was really young, though. I think I mentioned in the previous episode, just specifically talking about it. But I watched it with my mum, and it did frighten me. But I went back to it loads of times after. But I just loved the whole premise. So basically, it's basically like this. They're in a desert place. I can't remember where, but there's like a little community, and they get overrun by these. Almost like these massive sandworms, which are called tremors, and they basically sink.
Graboids, they're called.
So basically, they go. So if we're sitting under this table now, they basically go under, and then the ground will shake, and we get sucked into the ground, and they'll eat us. So
tremors, yeah.
So and this whole community is about how they survive. They're all like on top of roofs and stuff. And now how they survive is technically like a survival horror /.
But the great thing about that movie is that it doesn't give out that it's a monster, it's a creature or something.
Yeah.
There are people getting sucked into the ground, but you don't know why. Or there are people staying up and dying of thirst because they don't want to touch the ground. But we don't know. We never know why until a good 40-45 minutes into the movie.
But that's the element I love. I think that early on there's this couple trying to build a house. And then all of a sudden, like they come back the next day, the car is
sucked underneath,
and you just see the headlights on, and that mystery. I was like, oh my god, what's going on? Like even now, I can sit down, I'll be glued to that TV. I love that.
I'd like to watch
I think it's also the two main stars, which is Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward, are just great as a duo in that film. And some of the lines they have in that movie are great. Their chemistry in that is phenomenal. They carry that film as well.
Even the other characters, is there a Chinese guy in the shop?
There are other guys in it, but just as those two could have their own movie without Tremors in it, and it would still be good. They're brilliant as a duo.
But yeah, so I'm going to keep that short and sweet. And, Tremors.
Oh, mate, you got to go more than that. Yeah. It's your number one.
Well,
come on, why? Why?
It's even if you.
So did you grow up watching it as a kid? Did you watch it on video?
Is it one of the first films you saw with your mum? Because you said you watched it with your mum. So
he's spoken about it before.
Say again?
He has spoken. We've talked about it on the podcast before.
Have we?
Yeah, I remember.
I'll mention it specifically,
okay.
But I'll go into it again. So I think I jokingly said like my mum's messed up. She made me watch all these horror films, like Aliens, and this was one of them. Like we used to sit down. On the bed, and we used to have a TV on, and we just like watch it on the side. And I just remember like this whole. I think at the time as a kid, I didn't know what it was because I was just watching it. But then later on, as I got older, I was this is because I don't know if you remember where I used to go. I used to have tuition and. There was the collection. So she used to have collection, and she used to have like almost like a rental. She didn't do it. She didn't charge me, but she used to have all these.
Your mum charged you.
No. When I went tuition, there's a person that she used to have. She recorded stuff on her VHS, and that was one of them. And I was like, oh yeah, and I just kept borrowing that and Terminator and all that.
So it's a movie you grew up with, isn't it?
Yeah, I grew up with, and I just love there's some fascination about that worm just coming under and just sinking you and take away, and just. Almost like in my head, I was like, "Oh, what happened if it come when I was a kid in my house?" I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'll probably jump on the sofa or jump on the fridge or something," just like that people were doing in the film and stuff like that. And the whole element of like how they get rid of it is quite clever as well because they kind of because it's obvious like it's if you walk around, it kind of senses like the.
They're blind, aren't they? They can only sense the
like
vibrations.
So they trick it into like a cliff. So they run to the edge of the cliff and they just come out the cliff side and just fall and just splash. Like it's a really good film, man.
There's like a part where they spend the night on a rock, don't they? Because they can't touch the ground. And they think, it's 24 hours since nothing's happened. He's gone. And then they test the ground and he's still there. That's terrifying, man. Thinking I'm stuck here until this thing's going to fucking eat me. Yeah. That is just such a horrible thought.
I think I think there's 4 of the films altogether.
There's 6 in total.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're really. I don't know.
Number 2's good.
I've only
seen the first one. I haven't seen the others. Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's really good. Have you? You must have seen it.
I've seen the first one, but I don't think I've seen any of the other ones. Yeah.
Number 2's good. Number 2's good.
Dave, have you seen it?
Okay.
No, we've had this conversation before because I remember saying last time that sounds like it was inspired by Dune.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Move on
Probably.
John, what's your number one?
My number one.
June was written in the 60s, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Frank Herbert book, isn't it? My number one is The 13th Warrior.
Oh, with Antonio Banderas.
I was about to say, I'm going to say one name.
Now, this is historically accurate, right? Because they made a movie about it, right?
Yeah.
So you believe it?
Did you know?
Oh, hold on. I was ready for you then.
Yeah. It's based on a book by Michael Crichton
Oh, okay.
called Eaters of the Dead. Mm-hmm. And it's basically...
Why didn't they call it that?
I know, exactly. That's a better name, isn't it? But there is a reason why it's called The 13th Warrior. But, Antonio Banderas basically, which is a bit strange, but
what was the movie called?
13th Warrior.
13th Warrior.
He plays...
An Israeli, isn't he?
No, he's like an Arab
Persian, yeah.
And he falls in love with this woman, and the woman turns out to be the king's wife. So because he and his father are quite well known in the city, the king won't kill him. So while all this is going on, they have an emissary comes from the Northlands, and he's basically a boy, and he says, "My father needs your help. We are being invaded by these creatures, and they're killing people, and we need to put together an army. And will you come and help us?" sort of thing. So this like not a witch, but one of these women that can like tell the future kind of things. She says you need
like an oracle.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So she says you have to send a group of 13 warriors, but the 13th warrior cannot be a Northman. So because of him liking the king's wife, the king says, "Well, you can go." So Antonio Banderas is like shitting himself because he's got to go off with these Vikings. But he learns their language or on the way to like wherever it is that they live. He learns their language, and they're kind of surprised because he's quite. He can read and write, and he's very like a very learned man. Whereas they're like warriors. They kind of like don't know much really, other than killing people sort of thing and hunting and stuff. Whereas he doesn't like any of those things. Like there's a scene where they're. When they wash their hands and their face and they spit into the bowl and they give him the bowl and he's like, "No, thank you," because
that shows up so many times in different voices.
Yeah, but because he doesn't want to touch because he's clean and he sees them as unclean sort of thing. But it's basically the journey that he makes with them to go north to fight these eaters of the dead, and they are like cannibals. And when they get up there, they get attacked. And he's learnt the Viking language, so he's able to speak to them. They grow as a team. He grows as a person as well. And there's this almighty fight scene, basically, with they're like these giant. They turn out to be men, but they're making themselves out to be bigger. I think they drape themselves in bear skins and things because they want people to think that they're bears, but they're not. And because he's brainy and he kind of knows things, he basically says he spots like the skulls and stuff. So he says they think they're bears. That's why they're trying to scare people. So they hit on this idea that maybe they live in a cave, and they go and find the caves, and they end up having this big battle, and then they kill them all. But it didn't do very well in the cinema.
No, I remember it panned.
But I've always liked it. I've got it. It was one of the first films I bought for myself. I've seen it quite a few times.
It's directed by the guy who did Die Hard.
Yeah, John Tiernan.
That's it. Yeah. And Prodigy, yeah.
And
it came out in 99.
Yeah,
great year for movies.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So when you said that, and I went,
Hey, see?
Yeah. But yeah, no, I like it. I like it I've seen it quite a few times. It's a film I'd actually like to see redone.
Okay.
I think they could do a really good job of it.
Who would you recast instead of Antonio Banderas?
I don't fucking know.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know. There's quite a lot of actors out there, actually, that could probably do quite well in that. I did think Antonio Banderas was a strange
pick.
But yeah, but it worked well in the film.
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it? Oh, man, you should watch it.
13th Warrior.
Yeah, 13th Warrior. Yeah, really, really good. But yeah, that's my number one.
Nice. Good pick. I nearly hit the story time with JK-47 for a sec then, but I didn't.
Yeah, because I've seen it so many times. But I
have you seen it 13 times?
No, I don't know actually. I might have done. But yeah.
Probably has.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's a film I could quite happily sit and watch all the time. I just love watching that film. I love the progression between him and the Viking warriors. They gel, and he teaches them things, and they've taught him things, and he learns to speak the language.
So it's like a brotherhood, sort of.
Yeah, yeah. But he learns to speak their language just by watching them, because he's quite a brainy guy. So he picks all these little things up. And they end up getting in a big fight with him because it's like how can you speak our language and yet you're not meant to be able to. And he said, well, I learnt it by just watching you.
That's what I'm doing
listening to
with you guys. I'm watching you. Yeah. I'm learning your language.
Yeah. But I'm speaking in English though, John Dave.
John Dave.
Right. Nice. Anything else on that?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
I can probably think of a few other things. Oh, there's the cat.
So, my number one, we're going to stick with the year 1999. Ooh. We're going to pick a movie that I waited 16 years to be made, and it was finally done in the good Lord year of 1999.
In the year of the Y2K.
It is episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Oh. I friggin' love this. I don't care what anyone says about Jar Jar, about Jake Lloyd. I fucking love episode 1. It was a movie I waited ages for. I saw it 13 times in the cinema. Literally, a world record break. 13 times. The only time I've seen the movie so 13 times in the cinema. Yeah. But good God, I love this film. It was, for me, it was what I worth waiting for. I know it's not, it's cheesy as fuck with Jar Jar, with Jake Lloyd, with other scenes with Natalie Portman and stuff or whatnot. Yeah. But I remember the first time I watched that pod racing scene, and it still kicks ass to this day, man.
Dude, it still holds up, man.
That's pod racing.
Yeah, it's pod racing. But then there was like people like, oh, but it was only there to sell toys. It was like, well, that's the whole of Star Wars. Exactly. Star Wars was made to do toys and to sell toys and stuff. That was the whole point of it.
Darth Maul,
and then when Darth Maul, the fight scene with Darth Maul.
Yeah, that is good.
Come on, man.
The way that the pacing in that I really like. The way they're forced to stop and you've got Darth Maul prowling.
Yeah, and then he's on that little scooter, and he's onto the devil, and you know it's going to happen. Like
you know it's going to happen at some point, wasn't it? Yeah,
no, I'm talking the end where the barrier.
We're talking about the end when the shield is stopping and fighting and stuff.
And you've got him pacing like some sort of feral animal on the other side, and Qui-Gon just kneels down.
That's right. Yeah,
at that point, 2 or 3 battles are happening, isn't it?
You got the Gungans fighting at the time. Then you've got Queen Amidala trying to get her throne back and stuff like that. I have to say,
I don't like the Gungans fighting.
No, that's fine. I mean, no one likes Ewoks either, but Return of the Jedi is my favourite of all time.
This was on my list. I took it up because I've mentioned it in the other episode.
Yeah, I was so ready for this movie. I mean, this was like the internet was sort of kicking off, but you could download the trailer, but it would take you like 2 hours to download a trailer back then. So I thought I'll just go to the cinema. And 20th Century Fox, who made the movie at the time, released a Bruce Willis film at the beginning of '99 called The Siege, and it was exclusively in the cinema because the trailer for Star Wars would be on it just before that movie. I saw The Siege 4 times just to watch a trailer, and I never even seen The Siege. I've only watched it for the trailer and walked out.
Really? Oh,
seriously, I was that bad on that. That was when you had like the unlimited pass. You paid 4 weeks for a tenner or whatever it was back then. And all of that was just to see a trailer, man. I was so ready for this movie. When the poster came out, it's still one of my favourite posters of Star Wars ever.
The little Anakin and the shadow form.
And you've got the eyes of Darth Maul above it, everything.
Man,
it's
that was
like, and then you've got like everything as a beginning. Oh my God, I love that
poster. One of the best posters.
I was so ready for this movie. And then like, the first time I watched it, I was a bit, okay. But then I was just hooked on it, man. I kept thinking about it and I kept going back to it. And I can't deny, man, I love episode 1. Everyone shits on it. And I don't care what people say about it. I mean, this is the Indy 4 of Star Wars, essentially.
It was like a big gap between, because I was watching the cassettes of the old Star Wars, the original ones. And I was like, well, and then you heard they're making a new one. You're like, you waited, and that come out. I was sold, man. I loved it.
Do you remember like the first official teaser poster for this movie? And it was literally just little Anakin, and his shadow was Darth Vader.
Yeah, that's what.
They pushed it. They pumped this movie up big time.
That was so good.
It was so fucking awesome, man. I'm
more a Star Trek fan than a Star Wars fan, but
you can't deny 99 was the year for Star Wars.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is, I could never understand why the backlash for that film. Like I thought, really?
I mean, I get why people did it because again, Jar Jar.
But him aside, the rest.
Yeah, but there's a lot of Gungans fighting robots with bubbles and stuff. It's just a bit,
what would you say is better, but like a pan-bad Menace or Clone Wars?
You mean Attack of the Clones, you mean?
Sorry, Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones was critically better, though, wasn't it? I mean, I don't think it's a better movie. No. I think that Attack of the Clones is the worst out of the prequel trilogy, personally, but a lot of people will not say that with them. Everyone would say Revenge of the Sith is the best, and I'm not saying it's not. To me, just Phantom Menace was because of how I was just in the hype for this film, and it delivered what I wanted from it at the end of the day.
You get to see the actual, Republic and all that. You see Yoda,
Jedi Council for the first time, everything. Like, and there was the first time I waited to the end credits for a movie. Not that I was waiting for a scene to happen, because that's when they weren't doing those then. But at the very end of that film, you hear Darth Vader breathing at the very end of those credits, and I'm like, oh my God, episode 2's coming. He's going to turn to Darth Vader. Oh man, what a thrill ride. It was brilliant. Come on. You cannot deny it.
I mean, only downside for me was it was just, I didn't like the CGI on Jar Jar Binks and stuff, the way they used.
No, but for the time, this was before Gollum was even into this, and it was quite revolutionary at the time.
Look at the CGI on the pod racing, man. It still holds up.
That holds up today.
God.
Big time.
So but then look at the CGI on the Hutt guy who's who's doing the racing. That's bad CGI, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, yeah. There are times where it's a bit naff, but come on. Right. Majority of it was pretty good.
I'm so glad you put it in there, man.
Yeah, I wasn't going to. It was something else was going to be my number one, so I'll put it in the honorable mentions. But I literally just remembered to think, fuck, no one's put Phantom Menace, so I'm going to do it. Yeah. Nowadays, it's going to be Dave's number one.
Somehow I don't think so. Somehow.
Yeah. Come at me, Phantom Menace. Guilty pleasure. Dave.
Look into my eyes, Ant, as I say this. Star Wars.
Shut up.
Rise of Skywalker.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck. No, is it really?
He's pulling our leg.
Yeah.
He's pulling our leg.
You're pulling my leg.
Oh, look, I'll show you.
Oh my God, is it really? Look, even he's disgusted at that.
I like them all. I don't,
Dude, he's winding you up. He's winding us up.
I'm not winding you up. I prove it, look. There you go.
Is he put it there?
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like,
yeah.
Right, go for it. Why is it number one, sir?
Because I do piss a lot of people off.
See what I mean?
No.
So it's not really guilty pleasure. It's just there to piss people off.
I do enjoy it.
Okay.
Because the one before it was so bad.
Yeah, Last Jedi.
I hated it with a passion. Absolutely hated it with a passion. Now, I'm not someone who massively cares for Star Wars, so this is why I like it, because I'm not as invested in it as other people might be. And it's got a lot of flaws, and I can see why people don't like it, but I don't think it is as bad as. And so when I was trying to think of what is the real guilty pleasure, because there seems to be such a backlash against this movie with proper fans, and I don't think it's that bad.
Okay,
like I wouldn't say I really, really love it.
Sure.
I think it's all right, but like everyone's going.
You don't
nuts.
think it deserves as much?
No, everyone's going absolutely batshit mental about it because like. Rey is Palpatine's daughter and things like that, and I'm like, I don't actually mind that. I quite like that.
Yeah,
but then there are things in it that I think are stupid. Like how did they? Finn was basically just ignored in the whole thing. And he was one of the best characters.
Who played Finn?
He was about
John Boyega.
He was meant to be a Jedi.
He was just done fucking dirty at that movie. But I liked going to the planet of the Sith.
Yeah.
See that? Like. We've never seen that before in Star Wars, and stylistically, the CGI on that, I really liked the choices they did on that.
Is that where he's at his throne there?
Yeah,
that's pretty. Like, that's a cool setting. That is,
and you've got these weird, like big monolithic sort of mountains
big
that they're going under
sort of thing,
and things like that, and you've got all the hooded, presumably inhabitants of that world. There's constant lightning and stuff. And he comes out on that contraption arm.
That's right.
Like reanimated. There's a lot to like about that movie. And I think it gets a lot of hate. And, when you've got all the big, massive Star Destroyers.
Yeah.
All of them line up.
All of them lining up. I quite like that visually and things like that. I mean, I can see why there are criticisms of it. But I can still watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not as massive a fan, so it's not egregious to me.
I like this scene where they go back to the Death Star. That's from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And you can hear the Return of the Jedi music
playing
in the background.
Really slowly, isn't it?
That's so good. That's good.
So yeah, like I say, I think it gets a lot of hate. I was trying to think of the most,
I thought you weren't a Star Wars fan.
I'm not really a Star Wars fan, but I enjoy them.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Like I do like Star Wars, but I like other stuff more. I haven't watched all of the stuff. Like if I was to class myself as a Star Wars fan, I would have watched everything that's been put out.
Yeah,
there's still gaps where I haven't watched things, but I enjoyed.
Maybe I need to watch that trilogy in a different eye then.
I don't know. I watched The Force Awakens, and I liked it because it's basically a retelling of
the first one.
They set it up well. They set it up well,
and I like the characters. I like the world. The CGI was so good on it.
On Force Awakens,
on Jakku and things like that, with all the crashed, Imperial stuff that she's scavenging and things like that. I just really liked it. Then the second one, I was like, what has happened in this? Because I saw them all at the cinema. And you just think, the second one, even I don't enjoy that. Like, that is so bad.
Yeah.
And it just
it's
really...
just it looks like they just picked up, let's see how fucked up we can fuck this
up.
That's what it seems
in the first one, Force Awakens, it's like they're setting, like seeds for what's going to happen, obviously, in the trilogy. Like, there's this big mystery about who's Rey's...
parents are.
Who is she?
We're going to get answers.
There's going to be something, and they're setting all these seeds up and things. And then the second one, it's like someone came in and went, I don't like what you've done. I want to do what I want to do. And then they just systematically go about trashing everything that had happened before it.
That's right.
So like, they saying it. Oh, your parents were nobody. And then the third one has to redo it and go, oh no, he was just saying
He's got to pick up the pieces, hasn't it?
Just saying that because, like he was trying to make you feel bad or whatever, and it's like you are someone.
And I was saying to G that the recent Mandalorian series, they're picking up the pieces for Rise of Skywalker now. So it's
they've got to do a lot of collecting, but like I say, the Rise of Skywalker, I'm not, I think it did riding on top of a Star Destroyer.
For what they had and what they could do, J.J. Abrams had so much to try and fix and still couldn't do it at the end of the day.
No, so. But I think it's not as bad.
Why did they let it go to that state? That's my mind.
Because this is a mega corporation that's,
they were trading on the name of Star Wars.
Yeah, but it's such a massive...
thought that they could put Star Wars on anything and it's going to sell. I think it's make loads of money.
I think it's more a case of there's too many cooks in the kitchen, if you ever heard that saying. If you've got a studio with one person in charge who's doing their vision...
Yeah, fuck you, Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, I'm just not happy with it. But,
Jesus.
But in this, it just feels like so many people have got chucked in and they're just chopping in and out and it's just loose and...
It's a shame because you've got J.J. Abrams directing these as well, and it's like...
That's what I mean.
It's him I feel sorry for.
I was just about to say, he's going to get a bad mark against his name for these things.
And this is a guy who's done Star Trek and Star Wars. This guy's a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
But he can pull it off.
He enjoys them.
It's like Dave says, you've got too many cooks in the kitchen, and it's what he traps it, doesn't it?
Yeah. It feels, like it was just pulled apart by so many people. Somebody else comes in with a different vision. It's like, oh no, we want to go away from that and do our own complete story, and we want to do this and we want to do that, and it's just but. Like I say, it gets a lot of hate. I can watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's why I've put it on this list, because I know it's a contentious one.
Yeah, good shout. Fair enough, yeah.
And there's a lot of people who will be like, no, it's just sin.
But at least it's not like him when he actually said Last Jedi was his favourite sequel and he got it wrong. He was meant to say Force Awakens.
Yeah. What episode was that?
Favourite sequels that you like, Reminisce. Nice, good shout.
I thought I'd get more of a reaction from you.
I'm still waiting for you to say, got ya.
No.
I'm still shocked. I'm like, oh yeah.
I'm not discriminating whatsoever.
I should have looked G in the eye and said it then.
Right, does anyone have any honourable mentions? I've got a shit ton.
I've got a few.
So just go through mine quickly?
Yeah, go on.
Right, so mine is the live-action version of Super Mario Brothers. I fucking love that movie. I don't care what anyone says. I grew up with that movie. Sylvester Stallone's Judge Dredd. I fucking love that film. It's a kick-ass film.
Yeah.
Come at me, I don't care. I know the Carl Urban ones are better, but that is a guilty pleasure for me, 100%. The Arnie's Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie's House of Thousand Corpses.
I haven't seen it.
That is a great. Come on. What else have I got? So all the Terminator sequels. Iron Man 3, I quite like. Spider-Man 3, I quite enjoy.
Iron Man 4, Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 I quite enjoy. I don't think it's as bad as, come on, like Love and Thunder or Ragnarok.
Okay,
I think it's better than those, big time.
Anything's better.
Ben Affleck's Daredevil films. I really do like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. That was a great movie when I was a kid. It's like, come on.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Loads, man.
Godzilla.
Yeah, that's some
1998. Any Van Damme or Steven Seagal action movie. Cheesy as fuck, but brilliant to watch. I quite like this. Now, this got a shit ton of hate when it came out, but for me, being a 90s horror fan at the time, it's the sequel to I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I really love that film. I saw that multiple times in the cinema. It's just a great popcorn movie and a massive guilty pleasure for me. I pop that fucker in any day. My number one was going to be AVP, Alien vs. Predator.
I was like, what's going on?
Because that for me was like the biggest achievement for me. Like, we actually got them both in the film, you know. But being a fan of massive fan of the comic book of it, like, I knew we wasn't going to get that on screen because you'll need a massive budget for the comic book to be, you know, on the screen. I still can't deny that fight scene. That first fight scene they have is just, every time I watch it, I feel like I want to stroke myself and just have a wank or something. I love it. It's brilliant.
Commentary corner.
Definitely commentary corner. Spider-Man 3. Now, I don't care what anyone says. The more times I watch that movie, I really do actually enjoy that. Okay. That's me. That's me. I'm done.
I didn't really have many.
I had a couple.
I think you said a couple.
There's way more. There's
I'm
more
surprised
I can go
you
to.
said Dune. I was going to say Doom.
Yeah,
I was going to say that as well.
Spawn. Yes.
Mummy.
Nice. Good shout, mate.
Starship Troopers. I think
The Mummy.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah, apparently.
Nah, this guy Googled that. For fuck's sake.
I'm just going, and we talked about this one. Is it Batman Forever or Batman Robin?
Batman and Robin.
Yeah. I like
that was in his favourite sequels.
Which one was the one with Iceman?
That's it. Batman Robin. Arnie's Iceman.
Yeah.
As Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. That was close to mine.
Waterworld.
Waterworld. I like Waterworld.
I like it. Master and Commander.
Fucking Master Commander, man.
Yeah, I like that one.
I've only seen that once.
Ghost Rider. I like it.
The first one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Nicolas Cage, first one. Yeah. That was
Number two's fucking
Day
terrible,
After
though.
Tomorrow.
After Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Takes over. Yeah.
Dennis Quaid, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was a good film. I like that.
Yeah, I didn't think
I like it.
Guilty pleasure as such, was it?
It's a bit cheesy there, isn't it?
Yeah, it didn't do very well in the cinema. So it didn't make much more than it cost, sort of thing. So
nice.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Dave?
No. We'll end it there then, guys.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
And
Wow.
A controversial
And the series, yeah.
Yes.
I think it was a good episode to finish the series with.
Yeah.
But again, guys, I want to take this opportunity to thank all three of you, Dave, John, and Gal, for being for season 6 with me, carrying it on as we do, talking about the shit that we love.
Yeah.
And all the others.
And all the others. And all the others as well. I've mentioned at the beginning. Everyone who was on it.
Everyone and anyone who comes on the show and
I can't thank you guys enough. And for everyone that listens as well, again, we don't do this for money. This is a hobby at the end of the day.
Exactly,
and every time you listen to us and we see that number grow of listens, it's just a big push for us to do even more seasons, even more episodes. And I can guarantee season 7 will be a cracker of a season. We've got some good shit. We've got the return of Spooktacular. That will be coming back.
Oh, yeah.
We got obviously we're going to carry on with the video game consoles of specific games for those consoles.
Throw a few commentary corners in there.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get Howard back in his double list to come back as well. And then we've obviously got the 100th episode, which will be at the end of December, towards Christmas time at least anyway, won't it? By then. So yeah, stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, looking forward to it already.
Yeah. Again, thank you guys.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll end it there.
Thank you, Ant.
No,
guys,
Thank you, Ant.
Thank you.
You took my life. Asshole.
So guys, if you like what you listen to, you can follow us on
M.T.V.B podcast at Facebook.
On Instagram at M.T.V.B podcast.
Or on TikTok at M.T.V.B podcast 197.
Guys, thank you very much for the season 6 for a ride. Hopefully we'll see you soon for season 7.
Take care, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.
No. Thank you, Ant.
Let's sign off, guys. That man signing off with
John Whiff.
Gal, a.k.a. Grey Fox.
And Dave.
See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.
All the best.